All right, I'm Dino. I'm CEO. Look at this. CEO, come to death row of the best comic book podcast, Tales from the Flipside. If you're worried about buying bad comic spec, listening to other YouTube channels, and you have to move into your parents' basement, you come to Tales from the Flipside. If you have a white refrigerator and you want a stainless steel fridge, you come to Tales from the Flipside. You worried about how many ups and downs you have to listen to pay attention during the week, you come to Tales from the Flipside. Are you watching other people out there who get their PayPal frozen? Come to Tales from the Flipside.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another great episode of Modern Comic Mayhem. Tonight we are talking we're talking future state. We're doing our top 10 best J Scott Campbell covers list and so much more. Tonight we got with us the one and only Solo Wookiee, the most hated man in Star Wars, aka the Star Wars Ben Roethlisberger, Marco himself. We got Greg, the creator of Rascals, and as always, we got Kyle. Kyle's here, everyone. Fucking Kyle, let's get this shit started. Welcome, everyone watching us live on YouTube for another episode of Modern Comic Mayhem. How's it going tonight, guys? My luscious panel, is always looking good. Was that a better intro for you this week, Kyle?
Yeah, the other one was, we got fucking Anthony from Bird City, we got fucking Marco and Kyle.
Somebody's still butthurt a week later, dude.
Yes.
A little bit.
Shout out to everybody that's going to be playing. I hope all you guys are playing the drinking game tonight before we get started. I want to let you know my drink choice tonight is Screwball peanut butter whiskey, and I've decided to add Cocoa Pebbles flavored half and half. It's my peanut butter cup, bitches. Yeah. But I hope you guys are playing the drinking game, and let's have a fun show, guys.
Absolutely. If anybody missed the drinking game code at the beginning, I'll put it right up on the screen right there. Make sure to scan that code to get in on the drinking game and have a good time with us tonight. Oh man, we got quite a good show for you tonight. Marco, what's going on, bud?
I'm opening up Pokemon cards. I got an interesting story if you want to hear about that. Somebody definitely got too close to me, but I think we have other stuff to talk about. Res or no? You guys want to talk about Pokemon?
Yeah, go ahead and
Pokemon the shit out of it.
Well, first off, what is this? This just came out of a fresh pack. Sorry, I was finishing up this pack opening. Do you see that? You see that? Here, look at me.
Is it like a double card or something?
They didn't cut the cards
together.
They didn't cut them. No, see right there?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know
what's the spec value in that.
Did you grade it? It's like
a PSA 10.
Who on this channel do I have to go to find out the spec value of that? I need to know.
Is that like a double cover, but it's like 6 of them?
Yeah, I guess. I have a couple kids, as some people might know, like 20 of them, and they've all gotten into Pokemon at this point. And just like comic books and everything else, there's a drought on Pokemon. They'll correct me on how I say it wrong. But so I went to the store, the old Bullet one, and as usual, I've had some great experiences in there. Got a call from one of my people, said, hey, I know kids' birthdays are coming up here in a couple months or so. Maybe you should buy some
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, because people are coming in and sweeping them off the shelf. So I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. We got it. We put them in 2 areas. If you can't find them here, find them here. All right, cool. So I go over there to go pick them up, and the first area, I see a guy swiping them all out. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go down the regular aisle then, see if there's any over there. Go down to the regular aisle, and there's a couple packs, and I'm looking, and I don't know anything about it. I'm like, hey, my kid likes the ones that are shiny and stuff, I guess. So I'm Yeah, I know, real bad, right? Like I'm trying to get a little bit of an education in the old Pokemon, but I'm not
You didn't
going
lose
so
any
well.
pants in the process, though, did you?
What's that?
You didn't lose any pants in the process,
No,
right?
not this time. No, I was wearing the Nordstrom Rack pants. I was wearing the black edition one. Maybe we'll do a fashion show one day.
Black.
However,
Chat,
got-
chat wants to know if you got those cards from the back of a truck.
I wish it would probably been a better deal. But no, so I'm there and I'm like, just, there's a couple hanging up. I go pull them down. I put one on the thing. I pull another one down and I'm looking and, they look like this. Here. This is what they look. I don't know what these are. Look here. There's like 3 things in them and there's a little star thing. And then behind these, they have these little packs of Vivid Voltage. Now they got fire bolts on them. They're all shiny. So I pull down 2 of these and then I have 2 in my hands and I'm putting them to the side. And I see these things. I'm like, okay, well, I'll grab a couple of these.
So how much are you selling them for on your IG tomorrow?
I don't know. Anyways, so I pick them up.
Are you shilling your goddamn Pokemon cards at the beginning?
No, I'm not. They're birthday presents. Legitimately birthday presents. While I'm doing that, and I'm not a small guy, there's a dude that comes up and sweeps between me and like standing there looking at the Pokemon thing, like, oh, these look cool, and grabs the 2 that I like put down on the shelf. Just grabs them, just swipes them up and walks away. And of course, I give him a good
I picture Marco running after him and fucking elbows him in the back of the head and drops him in the Walmart.
I give him a good talking to. So that was my day. So then I opened up the pack.
Funny.
I was like, well,
take my fucking Pokemon cards.
Did you give him the Big Ben?
Yeah, it's for kids, right? So then I open one of these to see like what is it? Is there shiny things in them or whatever? And this is what I get. I get 5 or 6 cards stuck together in one of those voltage or the vivid So that's my life. I don't know. I don't know.
Sack him for a loss there, Roethlisberger?
I didn't. I informed him how you should act in public very, very nicely. And if he chooses to, and then he apologized and tried to hand it back to me. I said, no, it's fine. Just next time, just
Hey, you keep them. But future reference, next time I'm gonna push you down, break your hip, old man River.
That's how I said. He wasn't old. He was a younger guy too. He was younger. He's probably 10 years younger than I.
That's not what he said. He slid in and as he like whisked past you, he whispered in your ear, "You snooze, you lose, nerd." And he
Dude,
took
he
the
pumped your
cards and
balls
walked
to
off.
Hey, look, I don't even know what was going on there. I heard that it was serious. McClay for a while is now talking about people. I keep going, trying to get him a card every pack I show him. He goes, no, those are garbage. I'm like, well, you said there was nothing to open. At least it's not. I have no clue what's going on in the card game. I'm just really trying to buy them for kids that want to look at Pokemon and they say, hey, this one's cool. It's shiny.
Van that you got? For that new white van that you got?
Yeah, that too. No, the black truck that I find the comic books in the back of. So that's what I was doing. I was opening that up and then looking at it because I was like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense. But sorry about that. Didn't mean to delay your show with the...
Chat says Marco knocked someone out for cards you can't even use. LOL.
I did listen. I just advised him very, very sternly.
Never take another man's Pokemon card.
No, I said, hey, listen. There's a thing like there's a whole spacing thing we have going on. Like even if there wasn't a spacing thing going on, like you should probably have a little bit of human decency where you give somebody like enough space. Was it really necessary to like bump into me to grab? There's 6 more hanging up there too, by the way.
I like how he uses the big scary to explain to someone that he needs to keep his personal distance from him.
Oh no,
he doesn't steal his Pokemon cards.
No. It was not, I said even if that wasn't the case, like that's the thing. That's why I like all this. And people should be learning lessons of like, put on deodorant. You smell bad. Like stay within 6 feet of people. You smell bad. I don't want to smell what you ate for lunch. Like don't want to do it.
You just touch my Pokemon. I'll drag
Marco's
you
that guy your
outside and I'll
parents tell you to
poke
stay
you,
away
man.
from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Poke you right in your eye.
Agree.
Come on.
I agree with that. So this is not how it was supposed to start off. We were supposed to run a tight show, but
Listen, there's a big scary out there. Stay 6 feet away from me, and most importantly, don't take my damn Pokemon cards.
No. It's a common decency thing, right? Like
And the whole point of the story is he's gonna go home and tell his buddies, this old man, he kept calling him Pokemon goddamn cards. I just wanted to tell him about Pokemon cards.
No, this guy was serious. I mean, he was serious. I think he watched like some YouTube videos of like you better get them, collect them all, or go. There's the big. They do a lot of the things where they open up the cards and they throw them all around, and they're like, they're sold out everywhere. You're never gonna catch them, and then people freak out and they go.
You gotta catch them all.
Yeah, you got to catch them all. So this kid, he wasn't a kid. He's probably in his 20s, mid-20s, maybe 30s.
Oh, that Roethlisberger looking son bitch just pumped me in the eye.
For Pokemon cards.
I just informed him that, like, there's some you can look. I live in a Midwest state. We should still have common decency out here, right?
He's being escorted into the police car screaming about common decency. Those are my cards.
I don't care about the cards. It's the point that he came in, there was this much room, and he came in and pushed his way in and snatched it like. I was like,
my goddamn Pokemon.
He stepped on my foot. He stepped on my feet. He pushed me back. I was like, hey, I'm sorry I was taking too much time. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here, but it's like I always say about comics, like, don't steal it from the people who are trying to figure it out because you want fans of the stuff.
I can see the headline now. Local man starts brawl because he couldn't catch them all.
Dude, I know everybody at that Target. I'm good at that Target, man. Everybody there loves me.
Can we get off my lawn?
Yeah, I'm notorious. Yeah. No,
Get
absolutely.
off my lawn.
Absolutely.
Don't touch my Pokemon.
Hey, I had to tell. Look, there was a lady at that Target one time trying to return 2-year-old chewable vitamins because she said they were stale. And she wanted a full refund. And I told her what I thought she was wasting my time trying to argue for a full refund. That Target loves me because I got a couple extra minutes.
We have breaking news here on MCM tonight. Adam Schefter confirms Ben Roethlisberger suspended again for conduct violation fighting over Pokemon cards.
That's awesome. That's good. Okay, so that's the Pokemon story. That's how we're starting the show.
Roughness, 15 yards.
Second down.
Yeah.
Are you guys surprised? Does that happen to you though? Do you guys go places and you see what I'm saying though? Like, where is it only me? Am I a magnet for these type of people? Like, seriously, who comes within a footstep? There's less than a foot. He stepped on both of my feet and pushed me back while sweeping through, did not stop and kept going. And I was like dumbfounded and then go, hey, excuse me. And he just kept going. So I slipped around the other end and said, hey, I was talking to you.
Get back here, kid.
No, I didn't chase him down.
It happens here too. It happens to me on occasion.
I can't believe it, man.
I very rudely say very not nice stuff to people because
I'm nice about it.
I'm an asshole. I don't care.
Mr. Officer, he tried to put his armpit in my face.
Yeah. Hey, I've had it explained before. If police are great people, if you explain to them the situation properly, they're humans. They understand. They don't.
Pokemon
You gotta think. Some of them have to deal with hookers throwing up and stuff. That's not a good smell either. That can't be a good smell. I don't know what it smells like, but I can't imagine that would be a good smell. So what I'm saying is, they'll feel you. Hey, some dude put his armpit in me. He smells bad.
That's good.
All right, what else we got? Can we start the show fast? Should we re-intro this now at this point?
I think it's good.
It's a good icebreaker.
Who doesn't like a good Pokemon rant?
It's relatable. Everybody has been there where someone's, cut in line or grabbed the book that you were getting ready to grab or, the last one on the shelf and you're reaching for it and some jerk off just reaches up and takes it and walks away like you're nothing. And it's just like, dude, come on, man.
He swooped into it was so weird because he was one of the guys too that was I heard him in the other aisle. And I don't know if you guys know this, but this is a big thing now in videos, the shock videos, crying over characters showing up. Another big thing is people you to stores and lifting up the bottom shelf, the center shelf and going, look what I found. Okay, your video cut off. You found something not so rare underneath it. It's a very exciting video. I get what you.
There's ones where these girls they walk through the supermarket and they just lift up their dress.
Yeah, sure, probably same thing.
Shows their bum. That's a whole whole thing.
That's on YouTube. You can show that on YouTube.
I think it's a TikTok thing, maybe.
I'm shopping in the wrong stores.
Yeah,
I know, right? I don't know if I want that by my cheese, though.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, that's
cheese.
The world of Walmart is the reason why I never shop at Walmart.
Was she hot?
They're all super, attractive.
Okay,
but it's this game where they walk down the aisle and throw up their throw up their dress to show their bum, and nobody knows.
The chat is a little shocked that Marco didn't start that story with "I don't want to get into it."
Oh, that's the pinned comment of the night.
Hey, listen, I am very self-defecating, whatever it is, shitting everywhere on myself, shitting all over myself.
Deprecating or defecating?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Deprecating
I shit
is
everywhere.
like being negative.
I got my Pokemon cards that I self-defecated.
I'm self-defecating right now. Just to let you guys know.
All right, what news do we have in comics? That's enough.
No, we got about 5 more minutes of Pokemon talk.
I got tapped out on Pokemon.
I feel like there's still a couple good Pokemon jokes that just haven't been told yet.
Chat's a little behind. We'll get it. You can pin them later. No, but that's it. I just don't like the, I mean, I probably don't like going in public anyways, but I'm a curmudgeon, so.
There's got to be a Pikachu joke in here I'm missing.
You know, the funny part is I have no clue what you're talking about. I actually know nothing about Pokemon. So,
but yet you buy the cards.
Yeah, you don't have kids. Like, kids want things,
but you open them, so you want to see if there's good shit to sell before you give them.
No. I open it to see if like there's shiny cards or something, right? Like it's like kids
GXs or something like that. My kid likes Pokemon too. He plays Magic a lot because we played together, but for Pokemon, they know all of them and collect all the cards, but I guess the GX cards are the ones that are like the really powerful ones.
Okay. And those are the ones that shine, right? I was just over the patch had a shiny thing in it. It did. It had.
You're gonna see a Marco video from Tales from the Dark Side tomorrow. Of I found this shiny Charizard at a yard sale. Is it worth anything?
Yeah. These are what I got. There's
new to the group. I found this. Worth anything?
Oh, there's a Charizard in here, as a matter of fact. Okay, these are the ones that weren't folded up. This thing, which whatever.
That's Charmander.
Okay, whatever.
Charmeleon, sorry.
Okay,
when adults say it's for kids, it's a cover up. I agree.
Wait,
this one is a shiny one.
That one's upside down.
Make them big.
This is a shiny one. I don't. These cards aren't worth much, right? They're worth like 50 cents. Like none of these new Pokemon. Pokemon is worth
some of those are
shiny. Depending on the cards, man. Even out of the new set, they're like $20-$30 cards.
Well, I mean,
there's a lot of money in Pokemon. That's why you got 40-50-year-old men. Yeah.
That guy was only his kids once worth money. No. This guy was definitely somebody who's been playing Pokemon since he was like 2. This kid was really just he saw somebody buying Pokemon and he had to have them.
That's why you got 40-50-year-old
can't have them.
40 or 50-year-old men out there like, what up, Pokemon fam? Check out this new card I got today. Oh,
they do. I don't understand old people saying things like fam. But that's another topic. Let's go. We got something else.
Moving on from the Pokemon, let's talk a little bit about Marvel movies and the introduction of Deadpool to the MCU in an R-rated third installment to the Deadpool franchise with Ryan Reynolds helping write the script. Any excitement? What do you think Deadpool is going to do to the MCU? How do you think he fits into the MCU?
He's going to give it a chimichanga.
I hope not.
I know, me too. Who would be the good villain, though? Like, is it going to be a standalone, or were they talking like?
Do you need good villains?
They keep pushing it as Deadpool 3. That's still in the early production phases. They're still writing the script, so who knows? Is that a good way to introduce the mutants, though? The X-Men. Since there's a lot of X-Men jokes in the first 2 movies.
Yeah,
I think it's a decent way to introduce some, maybe not all. I mean, they've already introduced, some of them through that way. Look,
Wolverine,
and I mean, they cameo Juggernaut a second time and did all that. So I mean, it's already started the introduction a bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been ever since the news dropped, if you aren't going after, especially like that 90s stuff, all the Milligan stuff too, like if you aren't buying it cheap, like I think that boat's about to sail on that because you got Deadpool where you can bring it into. I mean, they're going to have to. There's so many of them that they can introduce them and you can now do the cross teams, right? It doesn't just have to be mutants versus superheroes. You can do mutants, superheroes, and you can cross over to like a lot of the, Deadpool, even like the R-rated stuff. So you can definitely, and some of those, some of the X-Men will show up better just because of what their powers are. Like if you go back and read some of the Pete stuff, like some of those characters might show up in Deadpool because they work out so well. And I'm not just talking about the witch and everything like that, but like they've already used some characters out of that book. I think you can include some more. But do you need a big bad for Deadpool to work? Because isn't the whole point of his working is the comedy portion of it, right?
Yes.
You know, and the breaking down the third wall. I don't know if you need such a big bad for it, but I do think.
Fourth wall, good sir.
Yeah,
Fourth wall.
fourth wall.
So here's my question: Do they use it to tie in X-Men, or are they going to
Well,
start
that's what I
laying
would.
more into the X Factor, X Force, that whole
Well,
era?
you would have to look at it if they're going to bring it together. They're going to bring the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You just got to think like, well, what storylines would they have where they would interact with what's already there, which is all the Avengers stuff. And so then what do you have? You have X-Men versus Avengers. You have Secret Wars. What else is like an Avengers X-Men tie-in?
You have Invasion. You have Invasion. You have War of Kings. But
Secret Empire.
Yeah, Secret Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Secret
thing though
Empire.
is, I mean, are you going to bring? See, I don't. That's way too big, don't you think? I think they have to keep it in these portions where you take certain elements, like you're going to take the X Factor people, like you're going to take. One of the books that I always love is like the Phantom X book, because I think you could bring him into. You could bring some of those characters now over into the Deadpool area. You could use a bunch of different X-Force teams, like Solo Wookie said, and a lot of those books, they're still out there. They're not that expensive, but they're picking up in price, guys. Like if you ain't buying them, you're missing out. But I think those are what you're going to do
I
there.
only buy my books on the cheap.
Yeah, Deadpool. You buy all that Deadpool related stuff will go that way. Then with the Avenger stuff, you can cross over certain stuff like that. Mutants that crossed over through probably Wanda, and ones that maybe even did the Inhuman crossover type stuff like that. And then that'll introduce the full X-Men team. And then you could do two different types of teams. Shoot, for what they're doing on programming, you could see X Factor stuff. Like there's so much stuff you can do with that. And then you get all the young stuff that you bring up. You can bring up all the Miss Marvel stuff. You can bring up, damn, man, you could just bring up so much stuff. You could even have Wolverine split off and do that's stupid class of Wolverine stuff that started off good when Hope was originally there and then faded off towards the end. But I mean,
You're welcome, Marvel. We've got you covered till about 2040.
Yeah, we do. That's a lot.
50 years.
That's just the stuff. I mean, you're just
In the future. Yeah.
50 years in the future.
I think we're all in agreement that, Deadpool really needs to start being the cameo that Stan Lee once was. I mean, that's the only way you play that out.
I never agreed on that.
Well, you did now.
I don't agree on that.
You didn't know it, but you just did.
You don't think they're going to use the Watcher? You don't think they're going to use the Watcher as the cameo and everything now?
It wouldn't.
No.
It wouldn't play as funny. You could do it, but it wouldn't be funny. It wouldn't be that jocularity that Stan Lee had that he carried over. Having Deadpool be that little cameo in every movie would bring back that humor, even in a serious movie, and still play well. There's no other character that you can really do that with.
You know what, JJ? That's interesting about the JJ Maxwell said he'd like to see them do the New Mutants. JJ said I'd like to see them do mutant characters like, there is Colossus' sister. You could bring her over to the Deadpool, especially doing some of that. Yeah, especially doing some of that Dark Child stuff. I love her, man. She's got that mini series out there that I always think is underrated. And
well, how much do they bring in with Deadpool versus how much they're going to bring in with Fantastic Four? Like, where's your tie-in? Because it's a lot easier set up and tie-in, in my opinion, and I totally could be wrong, to bring in a lot of that X-Men and Galactus and Silver Surfer with all the Fantastic Four that they supposedly got the rights to, that they're going to film and start going that route there.
Not everything has to be an Endgame. You now own everything. You don't have to do Endgames. You can keep them separated in separate titles.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, then they can share bad guys because they've been introduced before and stuff like that. I mean, like Doc Doom. You don't think Doc Doom's going to play against a couple different times as a villain, especially if they start bringing in Kang? Like, You better believe Kang and Doom are going to play a couple times. It's not going to be the Thanos snap a finger then when you're done thing. They're going to use those characters a couple times.
I hope so. I hate seeing some villains leave and then you don't see them again. I just don't think villains should leave at the end of the movie, you know,
or die off.
Hey, there was nothing.
That's what I mean by leave.
There's nothing wrong with the original Howard the Duck movie. Nothing.
It's fucking badass, dude. When he's reading Play Duck.
Mm-hmm. He had the little duck condom in his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with this. I agree. Since you brought in Colossus, you could definitely play it off that the Deadpool stuff isn't like real world. I mean, there was the whole jokes about it last time with the 2 different X-Men worlds and everything like that. You could bring in some of those characters and you could use them as kind of the Mando type series where you just introduce different stuff and you have Ryan up there telling jokes all day long and introducing new characters so people get familiar with it and then break it off into teams. I think you have to go with teams, right? You can't have everybody in the same show or movie. I don't see it working.
They've already talked about introducing the mutants sporadically. You've got the rumors that Rogue's going to be the big bad in Captain Marvel 2 and stuff like that. It's a great way to continue that formula and introduce him and Colossus, and
that'd be an awesome end to the second movie. Is her just whipping her off the Golden Gate Bridge, just, and then everybody's like, "Oh no, she's dead." There's Brie Larson just like sinking in the water.
Do you think we see a bump in New Mutants 98 again, though? Do you think that book starts to catch fire again?
I think that book's it's still commanding a pretty high price. I mean, it
is, but what you saw in the market over the last 8 months to a year now is absolutely absurd. I think everybody can agree with that. Just how much prices just keep tripling. It used to be that you would hope for new books, I'm saying bronze and above, that you would, especially on keys, you'd get something around a 30 to 40% return the next year or 2 years, especially if you had news, it'd bump up a little bit more. Silver Age, you'd expect a doubling every year and a half. Gold Age would be similar around there to almost 2. Now it's a month or the next sale or something like that. So I think, they come out with a new movie. Somebody's gonna be like, oh, now the 9.6 isn't 9.6 anymore because I could sell it for X amount of dollars, and I'll just put that towards buying the 9.8 that I missed out on last time, and it'll up the prices again for that because the prices of the lower end stuff went up. It's an interesting market. I'm not. You gotta, if you have it, sell it, I guess, but don't doubt it. Even if there is funny business going on a little bit, the funny business is driving up the real business too. You know what I mean?
I'm one of those collectors that I can't sell it because I got it. It's hot, and I like that I have it.
Is that funny haha or funny peculiar?
Funny as peculiar. I think everybody knows that there's some funny as peculiar stuff that goes on in the old eBay listing areas every once in a while, like books selling with one bid on it and then being sold again 2 days later.
Yes,
for a higher price.
I agree with Brandon that Doom will be a multi-movie major villain.
I agree. Yeah.
Once it comes to the MCU.
What is the print run of Deadpool? Like New Mutants 98?
Oh, it's big.
It's big.
It's
90.
Graded last
7
I heard
million.
it was pretty damn big too. But I mean I don't know. We're starting to see that doesn't really matter anymore. With the Spawn #1, ASM 300.
Print runs don't matter.
They're right up there and they're still climbing. So New Mutants definitely tabletopped off for a little bit, but I think you could with the right movie, I think, or cameo appearances, I think you could see it go back up.
Peculiar is a tough word. Hey,
we were talking a few shows ago about books being more valuable without being signed. Do you think New Mutants 98 is one of those books that it's more valued unsigned since everyone who has one tries to get Liefeld to sign it?
I don't have mine signed just for that reason.
This is why not. Because there's a lot of new people. We kind of talked about this earlier, but there's a lot of new people that tune in even to this channel, and a lot of them don't know the history of a lot of things. So I'm not quite sure everybody knows the history of Rob, and I don't think some of them even care. like after you already think like, oh, it's cool, I can get a signature from somebody, or I want that, then I think that the signed copy will pull in more money because then it becomes rare too, right? Like people don't care. Look, oh, my head does hurt. Jesus. All right. Anyways, no, I don't think people care. I really don't think they care. I think if you could get a signed copy from it, it probably would sell for more just because it is kind of rare. I mean, look at the Stan Lee thing, right? Like people were getting it signed for $100 and still after the signature, he was charging people $100. If you got any book signed for her, it was plus the $100 on top of that. And he was still signing. And I'm talking like 5 years ago. Now with all these new people in there, I mean, how many books did he sign? And he signed DC books. He signed independent books. He signed everything.
He paid money. He signed it.
Yeah, he signed it. So, and people would pay a premium on it. So yeah, Rob is Rob. So, I mean, he'll sign Levi jeans for some reason, or Jordache, but he won't sign a book. I don't get it, but whatever.
No, Levi 501 Levi's. He did a commercial for Levi 501s.
I thought it was Guess.
Nope.
Jordache.
I think that's the distribution number 250K. Just so.
Button flat Levi's.
Sorry, I gotta do this. So yeah, I think is that what are you telling me? That's what the Comic-Con numbers are? Is this 250? Is that what we're saying? So I mean, even with that, you got to think you add on some more to that. So yeah, I mean that's cool. That's pretty decent size. I mean, the average size print run now is what? Greg, do you know what the average size print run is for a regular book from the big two? Isn't it around the 60s, if that?
Yeah, it's not 250, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Oh, just like a million.
I want to know the history of Marco and the keg stand.
I do too.
Oh Jesus, who is this? And how does he know that story? That's not a story for this show. I might have been drinking already tonight, but I haven't been drinking that much.
There's no such thing as not a story for this show.
Mm-mm.
All right.
No, that's an incorrect statement, sir.
Go back up. Where is Gonzo and the? I'm not gonna get into that now. You just got it. I'm not gonna get. So.
All right. Some other interesting news that came out this week while on the press tour for WandaVision. Kevin Feige announced that they have the Marvel MCU mapped out for many years to come, way more than what has already been announced, as well as he has confirmed that he's read the rumors that are out there regarding Spider-Man 3, and that although he's not going to acknowledge or deny them, he said some of that it's funny that some of them are right on and how wild others are. So we went over the Spider-Man 3 leaks last week, so like I said, keep an eye out on those leaks and those books. And
Charlie Cox has filmed all of his stuff for the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, supposedly Charlie Cox is wrapped playing Matt Murdock on that Spider-Man movie too. So
he's in it for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how long do you think he's in it? Like 8-10 minutes, or like
probably like 3 scenes, if that.
Still great to see him there, at least in it.
Yeah,
and push.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
That could push a badass new Daredevil movie, an actually good one.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, and seeing Pyle play, he does such a good job in that TV show. Good old Pyle from Full Metal Jacket.
So,
my gun.
He said to a varying degree of specificity. I can't pronounce that word. I sound like Marco now.
What?
I can't. Marco's not the only one that can't pronounce things. It's always about 5 to 6 years out versus what we've announced. So what's announced present day, they have planned out 5 or 6 years past that. So
yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
50 years if you ask Kyle.
That sounds about right though.
Future, fuck it.
Don't you think? When we talked about it, that was like part of the problems before when we talked about rumors and everything else. We're like, oh, it's breaking. They just shot this the other day, and you're like, well, they plan this stuff out well in advance. I think actually the last time Greg was on the show, we talked about how shooting schedules and how booking schedules are drawing for comic books. It's not something they like. Nobody's going in tomorrow to figure all this stuff out. It usually is well in advance where this stuff is planned out, and then they produce it. So I'm not shocked at that at all.
JJ, I hope they don't cut a lot of his shit out. That would suck, man. Because
That
I
would
mean,
suck.
a lot of people are really excited about Charlie Cox being in there. So
Yeah, they could change their minds and cut a lot of it out. Maybe.
I hope.
I'm hoping they don't, just because it's been made such a big deal.
He did a good job as Daredevil, and the other guy, what's his little squishy partner's name? Foggy. He was good.
That
Fulton from Mighty Ducks.
That Mighty
Yeah.
Duck fuck.
But man, what's her face who played Karen? I just could not stand her. I couldn't stand her. And
She
she's
was
so
the chick from True Blood.
yeah, she's really beautiful, and Karen Page, she's better in the Punisher series than she is in Daredevil. But in Daredevil, she's just always
Well, and I was going to say,
she's always out of breath when she's talking.
some of the writing, I think they kind of
Oh,
wrote
yeah.
it a little bit poorly in her character, at least in the show. I really enjoyed the show, but you're right. I thought that they wrote her character kind of terrible.
Every time she was on.
Man,
Every
it sounds
time
like
she
I'm
was
the
on,
only one out there that's
not.
not a fan of D'Onofrio's portrayal of the Kingpin. I think he did good, but I don't think it's like Marvel Studios good.
Well,
He did good.
compared to other Kingpins in the past, wasn't John Travolta the Kingpin at one point?
No.
No,
He was just a crime boss.
No,
I think you
Saturday
should.
Night Fever, right?
When he did the Punisher thing, or they kind of played on it, and you're like, "Oh, this sucks." I don't know. Like, who else are you gonna have play Kingpin? Like, it's a
oh my
tough
god,
character,
I'm the Kingpin now. Oh my god, John Travolta's the Kingpin.
right? No, but I mean, like, that's it. Like, at least they had somebody who could do stuff like that. I don't know. I don't have a problem with the Kingpin.
Now
I
I
like
can
them.
picture. Now I'm trying to picture.
Yes, what I'm saying is, at least they had somebody. I agree. I actually like the actor. I thought he did a decent job.
What are you trying to picture, Kyle?
It's fighting
built up.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
He was terrible in the Punisher movie too. Like, I don't. They did such a bad job though. Like, the one thing I'll give the Marvel casting for the Netflix stuff, I really like the Cage casting. I like pretty much the Daredevil, including the guy from the Mighty Ducks. I didn't think that was bad either. I will agree with Greg.
Look,
I will agree with Greg on her acting was not to par, and I don't think that was completely writing on that. Kingpin, what do you want to do? Who are you going to have do it? Who did they have play Kingpin in the Daredevil movie? Didn't they have somebody play Kingpin in the Daredevil movie?
yeah. I was trying to think of his name.
he's dead.
Didn't he pass away?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Pretty
He's
good.
Armageddon.
But
the
yeah, the
Green
guy
Mile.
from yeah.
He was from the dude from the Green Mile. Yeah.
He was from Sin City too, wasn't he? Yeah. He was good, but like, you're not going to get a bunch of guys in Hollywood that are that big and imposing. I didn't mind though.
I feel bad that I don't know his name.
Well, we've got supercomputers in our hands. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm a flip phone kind of guy.
Yeah.
There it is. Thank you, Grizzle Gate, coming through with the facts again.
Where's Grizzle? I didn't see it.
I didn't see his. Yeah, it's a comment. Michael
Okay.
Clark Duncan.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. That's who the guy was.
All right.
All right.
Michael Clark Duncan. Let's see. The other thing that Kevin Feige said is that you could potentially see Jessica Jones make her return in the She-Hulk Disney Plus show. You got the rumors that Captain America himself, Chris Evans, was coming out of retirement and working on a deal to make another MCU appearance, and then he came out and said that's news to me.
Right. I think he's just doing that. He's just saying that shit.
No,
I don't think
I
John
don't.
Goodman would be a good Kingpin, though. I don't think he would.
I think that maybe he might do cameos, but like I don't see him coming back. But if I was him, I would. What else are you gonna do? I mean, your acting chops are Captain America and the guy from Losers that everybody forgets.
Hey,
to
Jim Belushi
don't
should be
forget
the next
Scott
Kingpin.
Pilgrim.
Yeah,
Don't forget Scott Pilgrim. Just saying.
Yeah, I get that. The Jessica Jones thing's interesting, right? So I actually liked. Obviously, Purple Man was really good from that, and then they tried to play it again, and I was like, okay. But Wig and when they went into
Wig.
was it Defenders? Yeah. When they went to Defenders? The
Who are you
spin-off.
calling Wig.
The one, what's her name? The one character.
She-Woman.
She-Woman. What are you laughing at? Oh,
She-Woman.
yours is worse than us. The characters that played in Defenders, the two women, and you
Elektra?
had no.
You're talking about Kristen Ritter, who played Jessica Jones?
So Jessica Jones, they introduced one of the characters that played in the two women squad, that the one that loses the arm, and the other one,
Misty Knight.
Misty Knight, and who's
Misty Knight, sugar.
Who's her partner?
I got a robot arm.
Thanks, Danny DeVito as Misty Knight.
I got a robot arm over here.
Anyways, thought they were better. She was terrible. Sweet.
Misty, quickly arm wrestle that perp.
I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that. 'Cause you just said Wig, and then
Wasn't the partner? What was the partner's name to Misty Knight? What was the other?
Oh, the Chinese chick.
Yeah.
Oh, what was her name?
Wasn't it Wig? Wasn't her last name Wig? That's
Wing.
Wing. Yeah.
Wing.
Wing.
Thank you, Colleen Wing. Thank you very
And
much.
Misty Knight, yeah.
Somebody
thank
can
you, Darren.
understand my babbling tonight. Okay, Colleen Wing. I thought those two were good. I mean, I think you could pick out certain people in it. You could pick out what's his name, who played the Punisher, and use those people. It would be really. I think they should do that. Actually, you could tailor up some of the people. I'm not exactly sure. I want the woman who played Jessica Jones to come back, but the rest of the
You
characters
didn't like it? God, I thought she did a great job. In fact, didn't I just see a rumor that she got confirmed for an appearance on something?
Who?
yeah, she's supposedly coming back for episodes of
That's how
She-Hulk.
this whole conversation started. But so, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Okay. But the biggest one is that Miles Morales. I'm a little shocked by this, that one of the most hated storylines in Spider-Man: The Clone Saga. They're gonna recreate it and now involve Miles Morales, and where he's getting 3 of his very own clones to run amok through Brooklyn.
Nice. That's what we need is more.
It's going to bring the current run of Miles Morales that's been going on for the last 4 years to a close.
That's awesome.
I'm curious, Marco. How do you feel about clones?
Yeah. I think my opinion on clones is well established. I think it's cheap, and they should stop doing anything that has anything to do with multiple clones. You get one clone, that's it.
Now, didn't you really like the Palpatine clone situation? Isn't that one of your favorites?
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. No. Don't like it at all. I really don't. I think it's cheap. I think people could write stuff better than that, and we'll see what happens in Spider-Man. But yeah, I think that it really is. I think you should come up with better storylines than having multiple clones of the same character. It kind of runs to the same. I know, like, all these stories are about the same thing, right? And you just kind of recycle. But the clone situation is like the cheapest way to do that. So no.
You do a lot of writing, Greg. What do you think about clones and how they?
I was just thinking about it. How it's all hackneyed and stuff. But I was thinking about how you could do it cool, and the way you could do it is kind of make it. I always turn the dials right down on everything first before I go crazy. I like lo-fi everything and then like slowly add elements. So you got clones, right? So then have a guy kind of like the Michael Keaton thing. Remember Multiplicity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have that kind of storyline, but then start kind of just jacking up the dial a bit, right? Like maybe you make a clone and that clone wants to kill you, right? So then that clone runs away and you have this other you in the world that wants to kill you, and you make another clone, and that clone's very successful. Whatever.
That sounds a lot. That sounds a lot like Multiple Man and X Factor, which I really did enjoy. That was the one cloning thing I enjoyed. Like one's a priest, and
but not where he can just make something. Like he's actually gone out of his way, originally found some technology, and did it a hard way. Like it's really hard to produce the clones, and there's so many.
My hardest part with those was always, if you make a clone and now he wants to kill you, and he runs away, why do you make another clone? Like the first one went bad. It's like, is the top of this bright red oven stove hot? Ooh, it burned me.
Maybe that's the last one he makes.
It's still hot.
Like
I can do it better. I can do it better.
Yeah, I could do it better. I can make myself better.
Yeah,
I can figure out how to live this, do this forever kind of thing.
Which is sad because I do like the multiple man clones because it's like he doesn't do it purposely and they turn out however they're going to turn out. I mean, sometimes he does, but like that type of clone I'm okay with. I'm just not okay with the like, oh, we killed somebody, but they're a clone. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Marvel nobody ever dies thing too. Like every once in a while it's okay. Somebody dies. We can get rid of, got a little bit of fat there. It's all right. Don't think people are really going to miss them. I don't know. That's just
a good time they did it in Marvel was I can't remember, was it Mark Millar, but it was during I think it was during Civil War where they cloned Thor. You remember in the
yeah absolutely.
Thor killed the old giant man. That clone killed the old giant man, and then I can't remember how they ended up killing him, but then he was on the table and he's all like split open and they're doing like the autopsy. I thought they did that really well because people were horrified that they had cloned Thor.
Yeah. I mean, that there is a good ways to do it. Most of these, but I'm just saying using it as a plot point to resurrect somebody or keep a storyline going for somebody that has been killed off or is disappeared for a while. I don't particularly like it for that. But there has been a couple instances where you're right. I do enjoy it. So.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, it's just another way of getting those characters back into a different storyline. It's just a different way of resetting. They do it again and again and again and again and again, different ways. It's just the clone one. I think that one time they used it for Spider-Man, it was ill-timed and went on way too long. So everybody always remembers it and references it.
Matt, can we move on to my favorite topic of Marvel?
Interesting stuff. What would you like to talk about? Your favorite topic about Marvel?
Talk a little bit of the hottest book out there now, the hottest character of the 90s, the book that everybody wants and everybody has, Darkhawk. I mean, hey, look, if we can't do it, we can't do it.
Did you say Turok?
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's move on to some Darkhawk.
Wouldn't Darkhawk be dead already? Didn't he have AIDS?
No. Well, so they redid his story. They redid his story a couple of times with the original run. It's kind of interesting. So in Darkhawk right now, they're going to bring him back again because they just have to re-sign the license and everything else. They're bringing back all the three groups of people who wrote him before. So they're bringing back the original artist and they're bringing back the original writer to write him. Then they're going to bring back the artist and writer who did the War of Realms stuff where he crossed over to Nova and stuff like that. And then finally they're going to have a new writer do a new storyline post that. I mean, they brought
Darkhawk. Wait, I'm thinking, which one am I thinking of?
I love Image? It. The biggest troll in comics is now.
Remember the one Image Comics? Was it Jim Valentino had made that character?
You're talking about the other Hawk. Yeah, Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk had AIDS, not Darkhawk.
No, actually, I think we have a couple. We got a couple pictures to help out our friend Greg here about Darkhawk. Don't we? Believe it or not, like this is what Kyle just said. He said the biggest troll in comics, and for years, Darkhawk was the biggest troll in comics. Darkhawk was the biggest troll in comics. I think if you were in any group for years and years, people would always post these pictures of their haul videos and be a running joke, like, "Oh, and I got first appearance of Darkhawk." It was right up there with like Night Watcher and stuff like that. And Darkhawk definitely took the championship for the most trolled picture of all time. The funny part about it is he does actually show up in Marvel Age prior to this. You know, the Marvel Age we talked about before. It's a lot of preview type stuff. They'll usually give you a couple panels and everything like that in it. These books, because I heard this, I was like, yeah, I'll go check out what these books are going for. Huh. They're going for more than $1. Going for more than $1.
$1.98.
Which surprises me. But they're bringing back. So they're bringing back both the original artists and it's Danny on this and the original writer for this. They're going to bring them back. They're going to do like a short in it Then next slide, please, Matt. They're gonna do probably one of my favorite little arc parts, and something that I think we're gonna see too after we see Secret Invasion, because it ties in so well. They're gonna do War of Kings, and in War of Kings, in the first one you get the first Talon, which is the guy on the right at this point, and it changes around the back history of Darkhawk a little bit. There's something about the character, and I know people would joke around about it, but there's just fans of this. It's very cultish, and I think people started reading it, and they've always tried to drop this in. Either way, we're going to get a second iteration of this too. They're going to have him combining with Nova and combining with Guardians of the Galaxy. Next slide, if you could, Matt. Oh yeah, there is a variant in this too. When it goes into Ascension, pretty cool variant there on the right. I like it. I have it. So I obviously like it. These books are pretty cheap, though. A cool storyline, because I think War of Kings, Darkhawk, the little tie-in, is 2, and Ascension's 4, if I recall correctly. Now I'm going to have to go back and read them all. Next slide, if we could. Do know this. When you're out there dollar digging, go out and pick these books up just in case, because as we talked about earlier, the first 2 books, the Marvel Age, which is really just a preview, is selling for a decent penny, and so is Darkhawk 1. This is Savage Steel, first appearance there on 4. He becomes like a bad guy in the beginning, like one of Darkhawk's like focuses. A lot of tie-ins too, by the way, in the early parts of Darkhawk. Ties in with Spider-Man, ties in with Punisher, obviously ties in with the a couple of the other teams. Oh, does with Power Pack 2 at one point, because they form the Losers, I think it is, or something like the Loners. Ties in with them. But you get to see him first there in 4. Then we've got, is that 6? 6, which is a very interesting one, because technically it's Portal. Portal originally shows up in Avengers
4, 5, and 8, sir.
305. Oh, so 5. Yeah, Portal's 5, sorry. Avengers 304. 304. Avengers 304, but they don't name him. He actually becomes a reoccurring bad guy. I will say Savage Steel becomes a good guy later on in Dark Horse Legend. And then you've got Lodestone. It's really easy to remember these copies because they literally put their names on the front of them. So when you see these for 50 cents in the 50-cent bin, I'm not saying pick them all up, but if you see a newsstand and they're looking pretty good condition, you might. Also, real interesting fact, number 5, I don't know if we have a picture of this, has a reprint. It was a J.C. Penney's reprint. Yeah, there we go. You'll notice in the bottom corner where they have the Spider-Man 30 in the little mark where the UPC might be. You see it there, the 30th? For that, you can only order this through the JCP catalog. This already for collectors of rare variants. I mean, look, dude, I think it's like a $10, $20 book. Not saying, but when you're digging through these bins, if you see it, it's more than $1. Pick it up, put it in a little bagging board. You never know what can happen. Or in 5 years, you can curse me out and be like, I bought that book for 50 cents. And that idiot on the show said, pick that up because you could get it out of a J.C. Penney catalog. Either way, I'd appreciate that because that would mean you were listening to what I said and remembered it. And I wouldn't listen to anything I said. So next slide. I think that's it. I think we just covered. Oh, so these are the new books. 2 cool covers. The first one is in Hawk Lee. It sounds like it's going to be like a 3-part story in it. I really like it. I'm going to pick it up. I pick up all the stuff. Even the Marvel Now, when they did the Darkhawk one-shot, I read that. Wasn't so good. And then they do have a variant that obviously has Nova and Star-Lord in it. I guess if you were considering what might happen after, we just talked about how they already have like 5 years planned out. What's going to be the next event after Secret War? An easy way to tie in such things as, I don't know, maybe a certain Summers brother that we haven't heard from yet, and Avengers and X-Men in space with a couple space people crossing over like Guardians of the Galaxy and Nova. War of Realms would be a great way to do that right after Secret Invasion. So it would be a Nile. A little bit of Darkhawk. I like it. I know it's niche. Don't go buy 1,000 copies of this. It's not good spec, but if you see it for 50 cents or if you pick it up on LCS day, go ahead and do it. I'm going to buy the variant, obviously, because I'm a homer for this stuff. But biggest troll in Marvel finally got his day, I guess. Yes, Kyle? Yes, Kyle.
Finally.
Yeah, right? I love it. Yeah, he's right. By the way, he's 100% right with that. It's going to be dead spec. And again, They reboot it. That's back again. That's the cycle of Darkhawk. It's like every 10 years they start coming out. I will say it's intriguing because the original Darkhawk series did run about 50 and I think had 3 or 4 annuals, which is a pretty decent run for a one-off character that did a lot of team-ups and stuff. But whatever. I mean, I like it.
Bought that Darkhawk JCPenney variant.
Ooh, I think it was
100.
I think there was a lot of moms probably ordering it for kids.
I'm trying to not be negative right now.
No, go ahead. No.
Yeah,
Greg,
go ahead. Feel free.
Hey, look, dude. Darkhawk's the best troll in the world, dude. Just because I like him doesn't mean that everybody has to. Go ahead. I like it.
No, man. Different strokes for different folks. It's just I clearly remember, like when you put that number 1 up. I just remember being it was like grade 9. I was going to school called Minnetonka, and there was a 7-Eleven right by the bus stop, and so every day after school I'd go through that 7-Eleven, look at the comic books on the rack. Darkhawk was there, and I remember seeing that, and that was like that was the same time as like New Mutants started, like that era, right? I remember seeing that book and being like, this is the lamest shit.
Really?
God, he had that little pindly claw.
He had the claw, the Wolverine.
Right? It's like, why do you have one little pindly? It wasn't even that it wasn't like a Wolverine claw. It was like just like a little zip line thing. And I was just like, what? And then like he had like that gem. He's like, I'm Darkhawk.
Oh no, he wasn't even.
I was just like,
you forget this.
Sitting there waiting for the bus, right? Like, oh.
You do have to remember that some bum told him his name should be Darkhawk, which later on in the arc turned out to be like some big bad guy, but it really was like some hobo on the street. It wasn't even, it was a homeless person on the street that kind of came up and was like, yeah, you should be Darkhawk, because he wasn't even calling himself Darkhawk. I can't remember what he called himself originally, but it wasn't Darkhawk. Look, I was probably around the same age, and I thought it was kind of cool because I loved space at the time, and I was like, oh, cool, Marvel's going to space. And then they did it.
Hey, man. Different, like I said, different.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
Yeah.
But it did become.
How's your anus doing?
But Greg, I mean, you can talk to Kyle about this. Kyle can fill us in. I'm not sure like how the cult, like, it's like one of those jokes where it's so bad, right?
Jinko jeans and a cover of Darkhawk, please.
Kyle, so how do you explain it? Like, it's so bad that for years it just became.
If you are in any of the Facebook comic groups, the buy, sell, trade groups, it just became the thing where everybody was asking for it. Anytime that there was any discussion, it didn't matter what the fuck you were talking about. Hey, did you see that new variant? No, but I got Darkhawk #1. And then everyone would be like posting these pictures, and I remember the first time somebody was at a con and it was on one of the vendors, had it on the wall for like $19, and they took a picture of it because it was, look at this, ha ha ha, Darkhawk, it's on the wall, like it made it to the wall, and everybody was so proud of themselves. But it didn't matter what group or what chat you were in on these Facebook comic book groups. Darkhawk was there forever. Still,
I still see it on IG all the time.
It was like one of
those pictures. Look at what I found a #1.
Yeah, but it was kind of like the best means. So like somebody would go like, "Oh, look at this haul, about to show pictures," and they go, "This is what you got," and then it'd come up and it's a Darkhawk. Well, people would troll other people with like, "Oh yeah, I bet you got a whole box full of Darkhawk ones," and it was funny. And it would go. It's been years that thing has been going on, and it really was funny. And then all of a sudden, I'm like Kyle, like. I think I got a whole Kyle. I was like, did you just see somebody posted Darkhawk 1 for, and I look, I'm not saying I don't buy Darkhawk 1s because I do for 50 cents or $1. But yeah, I'll sell that for $20 next show. I no shame in my game. It's not that good of a book, but I still love it.
Still, like I even see people now, they post, please no Darkhawk comments. it's become like a asterisk, like a small.
Invite to read my retirement fund is comprised of 5 Darkhawk #1s.
-2.
It's no Turok #1, but I mean it's right there. They're neck and neck.
Your Turok jokes were originally Darkhawk jokes, but just done better, dude. Like Darkhawk, what Invite just said down there is like that's it. Like that's how the jokes were going, man. And it has been going on for so long that it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, that's it. So there's your 50-cent. Hate me later because you bought it for 50 cents and you can only sell it for 50 cents in 5 years. But there you go.
That's why y'all come here, right? You don't want to be like me and coming from your mom's basement and I don't want that black fridge anymore. I want that stainless steel fridge, right? That's why we all come to Tales from the Flip Side. So, but a man who's got no shame in his game and is having one heck of a week is Greg here, who just released his second version of Rascals.
I wish I would have got that.
There you go.
Rascals 2. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about
Oh yeah, so that's the book. We fulfilled it. It's being mailed out. It's
Not
interesting.
style.
I know you haven't got yours, but there's other people we've mailed out, and they're in the same town and same thing. Like somebody got it, somebody didn't. I think it's the postal service right now.
To your mom's basement, Matt.
I know it's going all haywire.
It's in the mail.
So yeah, but it did good. Fulfilled the campaign. We're pre-launching book 2 proper, probably tomorrow. And then in February we will start the campaign for book 2 proper. And then for book 3, Kurt is already done. Yeah, the pencils pretty much for half of the book.
And we are
Just
in book 3.
You are in book 3, yeah. You're in book 3.
I'm so excited about that. I wish, Matt, can we show that off? Is that cool?
I think yeah.
It's up to Greg if he's okay with us showing it off.
Definitely, yeah.
Wait, do you still have copies of this? Because now I need to. How much do you want? $100? Give me his address. I'm sending you $100 so I can get 2 copies of this book because of this art in here.
No, that's book 3 coming out. That'll be out February, March, April. Probably be out in June or July. Is book 3? Yeah, and book 2 will be out for sale in February, and we'll be doing.
You put up the book. Yeah.
You're gonna make us wait that long for this.
I know. So we are in it. We have been friends with Greg for a long time.
Yeah.
Put it back up. What?
This is a page from the story Ghost Burrito. In book 3, the first story in book 3. Book 3 is 2 stories. The first story is about Tony and Max, and the second story is about Alana and Rosie. 2 very different.
What is why Chandler?
I have no idea.
Do you think we're from Chandler?
No idea.
All right.
He's hiding where your location is. You should hunt him.
Thank you for not putting that we live in Phoenix.
I love it. Looks good.
No, it's awesome. I can't wait. So, like, I can literally write off. I can scratch out one line of my bucket list now.
Yeah, you're in a comic book.
In a comic book, like that's.
Yep. Thank you for all the support. You know, it was a no-brainer. Kurt enjoyed doing it. Yeah, and he's an amazing artist. You should see that if you can show the other pages too, Matt. That these are the colored pages from book 2 proper. So the guy. Yeah, so look at that.
Wow, that pops, man. That's sweet.
I know, it's crazy, right? And if you if you remember what we were just showing, the artist edition, you can do the comparison, right? You can look at that page where it was just his bare pencils and showing where the light source is compared to this. This is sick. He's really, really talented. And yeah, when the color comes on, it's ridiculous. I think maybe there's a page coming up. If you can flick the page. Yeah, here we go.
So cool. The first appearance of Kyle. Thank you, Dwayne. That's
you can write in to CGC, you know, when you submit your book to get it graded, you can ask for that on the label.
So then they're in the plane, they're going to Baylor. yeah, just man, if you look at how they're wet,
About your coffee.
yeah, it looks fantastic.
I think he means in the comic. Why is he drinking coffee instead of bullet?
I thought, you know what? Honestly, I thought the same exact thing. Shouldn't I have like a little bottle of booze?
Not in a kid.
Yeah. This is an all ages book.
It should have been at least been a flask then.
A flask? No, that's even too leading. But if you could flick the page,
there's yes, you're right, Tech.
So
there's coffee in there's bullet in the coffee cup.
Got a little Irish cream mixed in it. No big deal. Little Baileys. You're good to go.
That's the Banshee. That's the villain or the antagonist in the second book. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, the color is really good. I really like his use of color.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, he really has great contrast. Even with like those last pages, there was a lot of purple, but even the purple on top of the purple separated well. You know what I mean? Like it played upon each other and really popped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how he's using the lighting effects. It was a stylistic thing that we agreed on before, where it was green. That glowing green is kind of going to be the cue. You know how when you're setting up something, you always have those properties. Like when Psylocke uses her psi abilities, right? Sure. She gets like the butterfly, the pink butterfly. You always want to make those visual cues. And it's interesting how fast people, readers, users, whatever you want to call them, of the media, they clue into those things, right? Like you've been trained your whole life to be like, oh, what's the visual cue for this, so that my brain doesn't have to think about it anymore. Right. So like green, when you see green, then you know, oh, it's the supernatural's present. Something's happening.
Yeah, it's got that.
Thinking about the first appearance of Kyle. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nah, that's cool. I like it. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
This is cool, man. Like to know somebody who's doing this and look at how. I know it sounds weird, but I have a hard time even speaking and articulating myself. I can't draw worth of anything or come up with a story or any of that type of stuff. So like to see something like this be produced and get the page by page panel and the breakdown of it is amazing. Like it's really awesome. Cool. And to see how good the quality is in this, it's awesome, man. I think.
Yeah, no, it's a professional thing. You know,
I know it sounds bad what I'm saying, but hey,
good job, stand up for yourself.
But Leinfeld's supposed to be a professional too, and this shit looks terrible. So
you settle down over there, Roethlisberger.
It's for the crowdfunded market, Rascals is kind of like a level up, right?
Yeah.
I understand completely.
Thank you for articulating that better than I did.
It's really clear what's going on here. There's no word bubbles, and still the articulation of movement and facial expression is still very much, conveying the story.
Exactly. But we get that very in a special way, right? Like the last one showed you how this was made.
Yeah.
So, in what would be modern ways of writing a comic book, I would write every panel. So it'd be like page whatever panel, the Banshee floats in the middle of the forest, right? Sure. Panel 2, Alana holds her bag, and Tony and Rosie are hiding in the bush telling her to go. That's what it would be. That's not how this was made. This was made with me writing a story, and then Kurt, because he's a storyteller too, right? He's an amazing artist. He's an amazing cartoonist. And he does have a way of giving people character, right? Mm-hmm. Visually, he's telling the story. So he interprets my story and lays it all out. And then I come back to it and I put the dialogue on top of it.
Can I be actually like a demon, and I try to sell them the devil pick at the crossroads to help them become famous, and then and they actually turn it down because they realize that I'm a demon and I'm trying to get their souls.
Yeah, when we do issue 100, we'll do a special what if, and that'll be it. Like, what if they hadn't beat the demon on the crossroads? They're
Give it
just
to
all.
Kyle to be like, look, I'm not good. I'm not happy with this cameo. I need more.
I know.
I need
That's
to
part.
be a villain. I need to have a story. I need.
Can
to
you put my face on a T-shirt?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
His face is on a T-shirt already.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need these faces on a T-shirt though. This is pretty good. I really do.
Really cool.
You know, I've seen it before, exactly like how Greg was describing it, how the process works. You can buy original pieces, even if you've gone back and watched how some people have tried to sketch it out for the artist before or tell the storyline. And just like, this is amazing. So you just wrote down like paragraph form almost, or storytelling form, and then he just sketched it off of.
Yeah, I wrote a short story. That's how we do it. Yeah, and then he bangs it out, sketches it all out, and I go back and I put dialogue on it.
Dude, that's really
so that way it's a good story first, and then he interprets it his way, and then when I go back and I put dialogue on it, the characters really come alive because they're telling a story visually and the dialogue.
That's good. Sorry, we're not laughing at you. Somebody said something in the comments that we cannot post. And yeah, okay, no, that's really good. That's a hard method. And
Hey,
really cool.
and can we do that? Like Jamie has got a good point. When issue 3 does come out, can I sign it for people?
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Like, I mean, if you were lucky enough to get
If you
issue
buy
2,
it.
the artist edition, it's got Greg's scripts right in the back of it.
Right there, yeah, that's exactly it. In the artist edition, we show the exact process of making it because I've been telling people, for 2 campaigns now, but the reason why we get this depth and why it looks and reads so good is because of how we're doing it. We're not doing it in the modern way. We're doing it in the very old way, the same way Stan and Jack did when they were making all these huge properties.
Yep.
We're doing it the same way. We're just concentrating on having a really good story first.
Yeah,
So
I
are you
think-
doing another campaign now?
Yeah, we got another one. Yeah, we're pre-launching one probably tomorrow for this book, which is book 2 in color. So the one we just did was this book, but it was the artist edition, so it's all just the pencils, and color tests, right? You get the story, you can read the whole story, but there's only ever going to be 100 of those. So
That's
It's
why I
a
haven't got
book.
one in the mail yet.
it should be there any day, man.
So that's what I was kind of saying. I mean, I hate to bring it up, but I keep forgetting that there are newer people too that don't understand the Stan and Jack thing. And there's a big backlash about who created what character, why it would go. And when you're telling the way that you're doing it, that's exactly what I thought it was. Like if you started looking at the 90s, that wasn't quite how they were doing it so much. But when you go back to the era of Stan and Jack, and even Stan, Ditko, and a couple other people, that's what Stan's method was. He would dictate or he would write down what his plan was, tell you the whole story, and then you get the art, correct, from somebody.
Yeah, because the only reason he did that was because he was doing like 8 books at the same time on a monthly schedule. You can't write 8 scripts. You can't do it in a month.
Which is why I'll always argue when people.
I think Donnie Cates will argue with you a little bit.
He'll be doing it the same way.
Yeah.
It's you physically don't have the time.
Yeah, that's where I always argue when people argue about some of the artists back then and how they were doing it, including the Marvel way and stuff like that. Like they criticize, oh, well, he didn't finish off a finger or he didn't color in this or that or whatever. And you don't understand. Like Kirby was doing for that month, what, 6? I mean, he was doing the whole month of books, not every single book, obviously, but there's no way, especially back then when you didn't have digital, you couldn't do it. No, his art was way better. You just have to understand that sometimes when you're getting to the interiors, yes, he had to shortcut stuff because how many books do you have to produce that month? And how many did he have to do it longhand too? I mean, it's tough. But I got off my soapbox. I'll get back on later.
We got a question in the chat. Where can we find Greg's book again?
So Brandon, you can find it in February. It'll be launched properly. It'll be Rascals Book 2, Song of the Banshee. We'll be selling book 2 proper, and book 1. And then we'll have more original artwork going. But yeah, you'll be able to catch up in February. We're pre-launching the page. It's on Indiegogo, top quality. And yeah, I think people are having a really good time with it. It just
awesome.
Yeah, it just feels like something in this year coming up. Like Kurt and I have been talking about. It's like we have this momentum now, and we know how to do this now, and we're getting more comfortable with it. So we're going to start doing other things with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get all kinds of cool stuff with the book when you buy it. You get a little sketch card, like that one there.
What's this run?
Stickers, all kinds of good stuff with the book. So it's definitely worth the value.
What is this run? What is this run here for the one that Kyle and Matt are in?
That's number 3.
It's not out yet. Yeah,
no, that won't be out until July.
Okay,
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to order.
Dude, he killed us, dude.
I know. This is why I'm going to order. I promise everybody in the chat, I'm ordering a couple of these. I'm going to get Matt and Kyle to sign them, and Greg, of course. Get you guys to sign them, and then we're going to do a little giveaway with these because these are just. Well, I'm keeping one for myself after this thing. We'll give the other one away. I guarantee it. I
want to know what I'm saying. That I got a coffee cup and my hand up in the air. Like what can I be saying to them? Like,
Why is it this fucking whiskey? Why is it this whiskey? The fuck?
You're getting into those hard secrets. They nailed Kyle.
He nailed both of you.
Matt, pick your head up real quick.
What?
Yep.
I mean, I look a little.
Yep.
No, he got you, dude. He got you.
Yeah, right, I'll go with that.
You guys rag
I was
on
gonna
me
say I look a little simple Jack, but it's all good.
Nah, dude.
Good, man.
He got you, dude.
You look good.
I think that looks like you. I think he got both you guys.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I want just that page. I want that page so I can.
I want the original page.
Have it. Yeah, have it signed and frame that thing and hang it on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. How much does that could cost?
We need to get a variant cover. We need a variant cover for this.
Yes.
What we want to do is we want to do something where we have those blank covers, so that when we're at a convention, Kurt can just be there, just like all day, just like making sketches on the covers.
Dude, it's so cool. You sent that to me today, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" I just laughed my ass off. I was so excited. It's fucking great.
Hey, can somebody quick do a scroll or a link or something for this? Is there a way we can link this out here? This is honestly amazing. I'm in love with this here. I know Dwayne.
Nothing a link, man. This is a preview. This is a preview just for you guys.
I know, but we have to link your whatever the Indigo so that we can get ready. Because I have a feeling
I'll be back for February when we launch, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, always.
And then we'll be able to go through all the page and everything again. But this is just a little preview because I love you guys. This is my show.
That's
I want the same thing that Jamie has. If you guys can put Jamie's comment up.
What is Jamie's comment? I'm not.
There it is. That's what I want too.
Yeah.
Kyle writing unicorn.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited.
There's your variant.
Dude, I'm so excited. Like, I'm even more excited now.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Hey, I have to apparently go check a thumbnail. I'll be right back in a second.
All right.
Deadpool style.
No, that's cool. I love it. That's
so
awesome.
Cool.
You could probably do a short run of that page that that they're on and number them and auction them off.
So now you actually have a spin-off comic that you can do. The Adventures of Kyle and Matt.
You're just like running from a bird in the desert. Just like, what's gonna happen? It's Jose.
Or
he's like just chasing you through the desert.
Just drunk Kyle and crazy Matt getting chased down from a road runner.
From a Darkhawk.
Road runner's
A Darkhawk with a claw. Like,
yeah. Come on. I'll get you with my claw.
I'm gonna catch you.
Freund Leben.
We tag team in a cage match against a scorpion and a black widow. That's 2 squirrels. That's what it should be.
we can make it. It could be a wrestling issue.
Yep.
Oh man.
We're writing it for you, Greg. It's so easy. It's just like money in your pocket right here.
We're like a muse for you.
Yeah.
Like all your ideas are just stupid. You're just stupid. Stop talking. Move on to something else.
Episode, you guys come on. You guys both need to come on, though.
Kurt would rather hang himself than have these conversations.
I know.
Would be on our
we
show.
found that out the last time we interviewed him.
Yes, a javelina.
He's a super nice guy in person, but yeah, he's like, I have no interest in doing that. Like, I was like, okay, I like talking about stuff, so it's no problem for me. But yeah, he would just rather draw.
Kyle needs to be riding a javelina through the desert, not a unicorn.
But the spinoff, but every variant that I'm on, I need to have a bottle of booze in my hand. Or a flask. At least a flask.
I like how you're running with this. This is interesting.
Dude, I'm I'm giving you ideas.
A squirrel with a bottle of booze in his hand. That's what you've given me so far.
I'm just waiting for Greg to go.
I know you think it's like this. I'm giving him money.
It's gold.
A squirrel with booze.
It's gold, dude. It's gold.
Like I got
You
this today. I can't wait to read this.
What's that? The scumbag?
Yeah, that looks like the best character ever.
Not as cool as a drunk squirrel.
Not as cool as a drunk squirrel, yeah. I finally went to the comic book. Last week I went to the comic book shop, and I was really disappointed. There was just a couple things that I liked because, I haven't been able to do that really, right, in Japan. And then this week I went, and I was like, oh, I only got 3 books, but all 3 books I've been like super stoked about.
That'd be awesome too. Oh my god, we could be ninja squirrels.
Ninja squirrels, yeah.
We could
Radio host by day, ninja squirrels by night.
Yeah, we could be.
It requires none of your ideas. None of your ideas. Well, so
fire.
Saying you went to the comic store. Are you reading any DC stuff? Any future state?
Oh God, no.
Oh God, no. He says.
Oh God, no.
No. I looked at that wall today. I was like, oh fuck.
That doesn't look like it's 50 years in the future.
No, the only thing that looked cool was the Batman where he's like got some ghost guy or whatever.
As a writer, how do you feel about all this future state and what DC's coming out with and what they're doing? I mean, do you look at it and shy away, or do you go, well, I get it. It's writing's not easy, and maybe I'll peruse 1 or 2.
No. I tried it last week. I got Eternals #1. I got something else by this company. I love this company.
Future state book.
It's called AWA Upshot. Have you heard of that? This one? Have you heard of this?
I have.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome, guys.
Show it again. What is it?
There was one. The last one I got was this one, which was J.M. Straczynski and C.P. Smith, and the colorist on this book is Snakebite, the guy who did the Red Star books. And I got this, and that was the best one from last week. And then this one I got this week is amazing too. And it turns out Axel Alonso is the editor-in-chief and Bill Jemas is the CEO. And it's got all these like crazy talented people working on these books, man. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? This is amazing stuff. So
I'd heard about it and I had not heard anybody reading it or anything.
Look at that, eh? Look at that cover. Right? I got that.
A pigeon with a fucking machine gun is badass.
And I got this from Heavy Metal. Looks amazing. But I looked at the DC wall and I was like, no, man. Like, even if I was a kid, I'd just be like, this is imperceptible to me. And it was the only thing I could track back from what I was seeing on the wall was that Batman. because the covers were like kind of telling a story from like, I think it's at 106 now from whatever. It looked really cool. There was like this white ninja guy or something. But other than that, I was like, nah,
Nope, just gonna keep walking.
Yeah, keep walking and go find interesting things. Go find new ideas. And
I'll be honest, there was a couple interesting future state books this week. There was actually some good ones. Are we gonna get into it, Matt?
Let's do it.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, first before we can do that, let's promo. Hey, feel free to send in your videos, and if they're good enough, they'll definitely play them out here. I think you guys have found a replacement for me. Apparently, somebody's trying to get in with it. So, hey, do remember, if you keep a little clip, any show that you like, if you send in the clip to whoever is the showrunner on that, they will be more than happy to put your clip up and invite you. We do have Jedi Johnson. He will be on in 2 weeks for the Star Wars show. Thank you very much. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So clips of what?
Yeah, feel free to just interrupt our show to plug yours anytime you
I
want.
will. I will. Clips of what?
No problem.
Clips. This guy's gonna replace me. He's got the good stuff, man. You know, he'll do a little promo. He'll throw you out something, kind of like we did on the year-end review. Little clips of that.
Yeah, Brandon, send us a clip so we can replace you with Marco with you.
I don't even know.
I would love to. I would love to see other people's future state. Like, if you guys could send us a cool clip of a review of a book, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wasn't joking. Absolutely.
Like, that would be cool because I'd like to see, I'd like to see other people's views on shit. That'd be cool. I already know these guys is right here.
Yeah, I was waiting to even think about picking up Teen Titans. That's the only one that I would remotely be interested in. And
Dude, they
waiting to
fucking
hear.
killed Teen Titans.
Did they?
Fucking dude, it was on point.
What was the Robin book you guys made me read? I actually
Robin Eternal.
Robin Eternal.
As somebody who doesn't read Batman titles, I actually thought that was decent because they did a lot of good things in that book. When I read Teen Titans, I know everybody's yelling about it. Obviously, I picked up a couple copies of it, but like, I couldn't get into it. You know what I mean? I think it was too much. Like, I kept asking who people were and what was going on. I didn't even understand a lot of these people. But when I read the
They
Robin,
had a lot of new characters in it, though.
is that what it was? It felt like they were saying inside jokes that I just wasn't going to get, which is fine. I mean, but that's kind of why I've had the problem all the time with the DC books is like, especially the Batman ones, you have to know like how many Robins there is. Like, I don't care how many Robins there are. I don't care that they change. Like, just introduce me. If you're going to roll out a new product, introduce it so that we can. So I feel like Teen Titans was more of the DC product for DC fans, where the Robin book, I enjoyed it. They explained everything. The Lazarus Pit, like just everything. The Robin that was there, the whole 9 yards. I thought it was pretty good, to be honest with you.
Can we get some love for old Tim Drake, who just can't seem to get out of the shadow of the Robin moniker?
He can't. He's stuck there. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's not horrible, but yeah.
He's Robin, and he's Red Robin, and then he's back to being Robin, and
so
Drake,
who is
whatever else he went by.
So who's the guy in prison? Is he a guy that's not a student, but he was trying to? I have so many questions about that Teen Titan book that I just don't even know.
So we don't know who the guy in prison is yet.
Okay, but so he was an adult and trying to save a person who was in the school that the Robin guy was teaching. Is that what was happening there? I know this is going to sound terrible, but whatever. I don't care. So in that Teen Titan book, they were doing flashbacks, right? This is what was happening. Yes.
Yeah, you're going between current, which I think we found a pretty good article about the year that Teen Titans takes place. So there's a little bit of controversy that we were addressing that I wasn't 100% sure on the years of when Future State was taking place. And I think we found a pretty good timeline of all the years that Future State has taken place.
So it's a bunch of different years, right?
It's a bunch of different years.
Okay. So but there's a part
anything from like 4 years to like more than 50.
Oh, wow, that's not confusing at all. That really isn't.
Well, we haven't. Do you have that, Matt?
Yeah, I have the timeline up.
So let's do a quick timeline real quick.
Okay.
Just so we can make it abundantly clear.
Yeah. So, but the question I have is, wasn't the Red X character, who seems to be an adult, even in the flashback, right? There's a portal, and he says, something to the effect of like, I'm not going to let you do that to one of the students. And I assume the student was in the portal. So my question is this. A lot of people want the Damian character to be in that book. Would Damian's age at that point be old enough to not be one of the students, and he'd be an adult that could go against the Titans at the point?
So on the Teen Titans timeline for Future State, it is, since Matt's not pulling it up, it's
I have it up. Hold on a second.
It's further in the future, so it could be 2027 is when Future State Teen Titans is taking place, which could put Damian older. He will be what? He's an adult by then.
Yeah, 100%, bro. What's up, guys? I'm so glad I'm jumped in right at this time because I am so stoked for this. This is great.
Oh, I have tons of questions, Brian.
Hey,
because
where do people send the videos?
Tales from the Flipside at Gmail, Tales from the Flipside channel at gmail.com, or you guys can just tag at Tales from the Flipside or hashtag MCM on IG with the videos.
Yeah, so I have so many questions. There's one scene that I have a question in particular about. There's a scene where you see an adult in the Red X mask, and there is a student apparently in some type of warp type thing, and he says, I'm not going to let you do this to one of my students. And you see the rest of what I assume is the Titans, who were the teachers at that point. So Damian can be that age. He can be an adult at that point. Correct?
This is what I'm thinking, right? And I'm hoping to God it's Damian. They're setting it up so perfect to be Damian. If it's not Damian, I'm gonna be so pissed. I really am, because the way that they showed that part with Damian, and he's screaming at the other Titans. He's like, I'm not going to let you do this. You're going to hurt my student, like you said, Marco. So there must have been some student in that cocoon, and they had to go after that for something, or they thought they were going to do something with that Dial H for Heroes thing. For Heroes. I love how they're bringing that back into the fold. That's great. If you guys also DC heads know about Dial H for Heroes. Mm-hmm. But the cool part that I really loved is when, and tell me if I'm right, because this is how I'm understanding it too. There was also a point where Raven, who's an adult, looked badass. She's talking to somebody at present time, right? Because what you're talking about, Marco, was a flashback, right? For like 5 years ago or 2 years before the present time in the comic.
I got confused because I didn't see numbers, but yeah,
something like that. Not too long ago when Red X was part of the team and this and that. Or Red X maybe had a separate team that he was training, and they like Dick says, they kept on trying to change. They kept on trying to reform the team, and it never worked. Right? It never worked. Them reforming the team. So there's that part where Raven is talking to Star Wars, always on the brain. Right. Raven is talking to somebody in like a some type of prison system thing. That's Damian, right? That's Damian. That's got to be Damian. And then when Dick breaks him out, he's like, okay, now we need to do it like you originally thought. No more playing around. No more trying to be team buddies. That's got to be Damian. If they fuck this up and it's not Damian, I'm gonna be so pissed. And I know that there's somebody sent me some pictures of the new Robin series, and they show Robin and his new getup. But I don't care. I don't even want to think about that right now, because this issue 1 was so good for me. I'm a huge Titans fan from when the times that they're going back to. I love that Dick and Corey are together again. What up, newbie? I love that Dick and Corey are back together again, and they show that, and I love how like Corey's like the lead of the team. I love it. I love the Beast Boy and Cyborg stuff.
Beast.
Yeah,
I thought that was weird. I didn't understand. I cannot wait for them to backstory that or refill it, because like So obviously some bullshit, something went down,
Yeah.
and they haven't actually explained it yet. So
Well, they've got that new series, Titans Academy, coming out, spawning out of Future State. And it almost feels very much like they're going to go backwards and explain all of this leading up to the Future State issue 1 in that Titans Academy. You're going to see why Red X is in jail, and because it's got flashbacks. So you see him at a party for Dick and all the other students, and that's where Red X shows up. And he,
well, Red X doesn't show up at that party.
No, but one of his students gives him the Red X mask, and he acknowledges that he was Red X.
Well,
we don't know if a student gave it to him.
Starfire and gave it to.
Well, they thought it was a student, but they kind of made it seem like we don't know who put this in here. Like, and then it almost seemed like maybe Damian was kind of bringing it up. You know what I mean? And by them saying, "Hey, we don't know who put this here," and then when they go back to that scene that you were talking about, Marco, and Damian goes, he was telling Dick, I think it was in that scene when he had the guy in the cocoon, when he's like, I wear the mask, because it meant something. It meant something when, the Teen Titans were dead, and that's how they're dead. And then at the end, when Grayson, puts on the Deathstroke mask, and he's, like, time to do it again. Like, that's why he's wearing the Deathstroke mask, because now he's got to think more like Deathstroke. And it was kind of weird. The only weird things was how, like, Corey was talking to him about, like, are you going back to being Nightwing? That was kind of confusing to me. I didn't understand that part.
Well, I think Dick is, because all these Future State stuff spawns out of Death Metal and the new universe that Death Metal created. And I think this is a universe where Dick has taken up a new mentor, and that's why he's wearing the Slade Wilson stuff. He's wearing the Deathstroke stuff because he's got the Deathstroke mask, and he's taking up that new moniker, and he's got that new mentor. And it's not just Bruce anymore. So,
but the Robin Eternal one is kind of what is making me think that Red X is Damian.
Yes, me too.
Because I think we have a slide up of it.
I have some pictures too. I got sent if they're the same one.
I had a funny idea for a Titans thing. So it's like Corey and Dick. They have like Donna and Beast Boy and everybody over for like they're all a little older. It's like a cocktail party. There's nice like jazz music playing, and they're having drinks, and then all of a sudden the door opens up and the music just screeches to a halt, and everybody looks, and it's like the I'm Not Raven daughter, and then she like walks in and nobody's saying anything, and then they're like, "Hey, honey," and she's like, "Shut up," and then slams her door to her room, and then the music starts again, and everybody starts talking.
Yeah, that would be a very new joke for a lot of fucking people. Raven, what's her name? Raven. Anyways, the Cosby chick.
Raven Simone.
I did.
Dude, that cover, that Future State Teen Titans #2 cover B is dope. Man,
it is a dope cover.
Holy cow! I hadn't seen that yet. That is sweet.
But Clay, before you got here, this was the book that I was saying was for somebody who doesn't read Batman books. This was the easier book to understand. The Teen Titans was tough because there was just so many references in it that I just don't think it's an easy starting point. Like I like the peanut butter cup joke, and then I know some people said like I didn't even
get that picture up, Matt.
I didn't even get the joke. I was like, yeah, that's kind of it. And like, yeah, right here where he's like, hey there, peanut butter. I thought this was kind of funny. I know who Beast Boy. Look, I watched the little cartoon with the Teen Titans Go stuff. Like I get who Beast Boy is and Cyborg, and that's about the gist of what I know as far as this group. But when we went to the Robin stuff, like it was really, I was glad that they recommended reading it. Because it kind of put me in a mood. Like first, I do like the space stuff and the future stuff and everything like that. And I'm a big Mutants fan. So Age Apocalypse is probably one of my good runs that I like. So to see the future, and obviously I'm a big Judge Dredd fan. To see the Robin book, I really enjoyed it. And it was easy because they would do references. They would explain things where this book was, I think, for the hardcore fan, right? Like I didn't get this book that much. Was my opinion on it, but I like to see you guys all excited about it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I was really, I don't know, with everything else that was going on, I was really, really leery about this. I'm feeling a lot better about it, and I'll probably pick it up. I'll definitely be picking up that Future State Teen Titans #2 cover B. Man, that thing's dope. But I'm definitely a lot more excited, and to hear that you guys go over it and talk more about how it's kind of flashing back to the good old style Teen Titans has me a lot more excited.
It flashes like it's at the current time, and then it flashes back up like it's showing you the build up to it.
No, that's
so
cool.
It is kind of cool how they're setting it up.
It was really good. It was the best book that I read out of the few books I read this week. Well, Hall wasn't bad, but this was really good, and I'm really stoked for it. I love the old school Titans feel. I think the Titans are one of the best books that DC, needs to go back. It's one of their bread and butters, and here's what I want. And I talked about this on probably Drunken Chat or Hot 10 last night, one of the two. I want Red X to be Damian. I want him and Grayson to, do their thing, because you remember how good that Grant Morrison series was.
Mm-hmm.
That series was so damn good, man. It was unbelievable. And if we can get Grayson and Damian again doing their thing, that's the key for me. And then the other thing is, if we get, John Kent Superman now. So now maybe if Red X is like a vigilante type, Damian type person, where he's tired of playing games. He just wants to, take out these people that need to be taken out. And he's more Punisher style, like vigilante good guy. And Superman can't have that, right? So now you got John Kent and Damian fighting. And that's what we want. That's what we need.
Reverting back to that League of Shadows origin, coming out and all the issues with his granddad and his mom and that'd be great if they follow that route.
But touching back on kind of what Kyle was saying is that the Robin Eternal book, I think, holds a big clue to Red X's identity, because Tim is saying, Dick is ranting and raving in Arkham. Jason's betrayed us to go work with the Magistry, the people that killed Bruce, and Damian ... and then it skips on. So it leaves Damian hanging. I know there's been a lot of speculation about Clown Hunter and maybe even being Duke, but I think I've been saying it's got to be Damian. Like, it makes sense for it to be Damian, because you have that. It just seems like the Bat family has that ascension of you take over someone else's identity. So it would only be fitting for him to go to Robin, to Red X, take over another Robin's identity or moniker or whatever, however you want to put it. But I think it's got to be. And I don't know. I think Teen Titans and Red X and Robin Eternal were the big winners this week.
I agree.
Justice League, the new Justice League was kind of weird, because it's not even like the Justice League are coming together. They don't hang out. They just come beat people up and take off. They don't really hang out. They're not really. I found it odd. But
I got a quick question. If Grayson took Damian's wallet, would that be Robin?
Oh my god!
I'm just wondering.
Oh my god!
Thank you for derailing the show.
On that note, have a great night, everyone. You can catch Solo Wookie tomorrow night when he ruins the Star Wars show.
Oh, actually, he didn't read the novel, so he won't be ruining that show tomorrow night.
That's right. I got stuff to do.
Hey, this is the thing. I actually, but this there is some hope for this. I hope you guys get Damon. I hope I get Damon too, because that book's just going to skyrocket. But I do enjoy that they're doing some books for new people. I just wish there was a way they could find out to say, like, and you can't do the Marvel 1 start over all the time, but like, I wish there was a way that DC could be, hey, if you want to get in someplace, this Robin book here was the way to get in. Teen Titans, the hot book of the week. I mean, I got a couple of them.
There's a lot going on in that book.
It's way too much going on that I just
going on in it.
I can't get it, man. So, but I'm glad you guys are stoked about it. When I heard McClay talk about it on the Hot 10, I was like, oh, this is good. I hope we get Damian, because whatever he's all high up on, that's what I like. The enthusiasm will sell it. You know what I mean? So that's good that there is actually some
There's been a couple questions in the chat. One of them from Brandon asking, is Crush good spec? Seems like Lobo's daughter and the Teen Titans connections are strong. Listen, Crush looks good in this first issue. They showed her just a few times, but I think she looks great. And the fact that we know that for sure now that she's Harley's daughter, and I guess everybody's saying that the Harley book in Future State is supposed to be good. So if that's the case, then I don't know if DC's connecting that, finally, but Palmiotti did say the other day that it's for sure, Harley is the mother of Crush. So,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And then a shout out to Lucas over at Comic Crusaders for that one, man. That was awesome. And then Newbie says Batman 656, spec. Like, is that good spec? And that goes back to that whole talk about, people talk about that 655 as the first Damian. Well, he was kind of cameoed in that. And that 656, he's on the cover. He's in the full book. That is a great book to spec on. I think it's one of the books that we've been saying to spec on for many, many years now. It just hasn't caught on yet. So,
yeah, buy low, hold and wait.
Yep. And I also love that Demon Son, the old school trade, the original hardcover novel or hardcover trade that they did that where Damian comes from with Bruce being, seduced by what's her name and that's where Talia, where Damian is born. So that's another great. I love Damian spec. I've always thought Damian was one of the best characters that DC has created in a long time, and I hope they can pin, the tail on this one and kind of rock with it. And
I think that's everybody's hope. I think it is. I think eventually you have to give fans, that's the one thing, like you have to give fans what they want eventually, right? And I think if you this is the Damian setup, then it's going to be a home run and we're going to see a little bit of a revival in DC. And if it isn't, it is.
I mean, I think the bad part about the Future State stuff is, like Kyle was saying, is there's so many different timelines. So these events aren't going on in the same time. So you've got to kind of learn the timeline to be like, okay, well, this is taking place before this, which took place before that. This is after this. It's just kind of a lot of jumping around that I think it doesn't sufficiently explain itself. I think you have to do a little bit of research in to kind of be like, oh, all right, well, this, it's not spoon feeding it to you. They're asking you to go do that research and put a little effort and time into these stories. So, because Kyle made a comment last week that he thought it was 50 years in the future, and someone in the comments was saying no, it's not, and it depends on what story you're reading because it jumps all over the place. So,
which does make it confusing. I mean, it seems like this would be the perfect opportunity for a little bit of a starting point too to feed people in, and unfortunately, I think a couple of the books are, and a couple of the books aren't. With that being said, like they're giving fan service. If this becomes Damian and not Clown Hunter, I think that's good. Like, I don't care that I don't understand what's going on in Teen Titans as long as it's good for DC and it's going to be healthy for their fan base.
I'll be honest. I don't get the Clown Hunter spec. I think Clown Hunter is a terrible character. I don't get it. I think it's horrible.
Right. But my point from an outsider looking in, and just all I do is spec on these books. I don't read Batman books. I just spec on them. Is if I need to read something, I could read this Robin series right here that we're showing. And yes, let Teen Titans go. Give the fans something they want. Give it to them. Give them Damon. It doesn't matter. I mean, all the books will spike up. That's great news for us. It'll help your readership out. I mean, look, I got my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping for you guys. I know I clown a lot on DC jokingly, but to be honest with you, it's good to have good competition and other good storylines going on. And I hope DC hits a home run with this. I really do. But
I feel, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the only thing I was saying is, like, yeah, it's a bunch of different timelines, but does that not open it up that they can do a bunch of different backstories then? So if you're the beginning reader now, maybe this one or a couple other ones, you can do the background storylines. Teen Titans will give you a good background that you need to see or something to that effect. I mean, how do you see this playing out after this, I guess, is the question for somebody who's not following it that much.
As far as what, like Teen Titans?
Well, no, all
we
of them.
We don't know where. We have no idea. It's only been one issue. I don't think anybody has a clue how this is going to play
I
out.
thought you said they're doing the Academy books and stuff like that. So they're obviously
they've announced that Titans Academy is coming out, spawning out of Future State. But the way Titans 1 reads, you're coming in at the end of that because, like, the cover for Titans Academy #1 is all these students sitting in a classroom with Red X sitting crisscross applesauce on a desk. So, and he was obviously part of the Titans Academy, and they mention it in the book. They mention the Academy in the book when they're at the party. So obviously this Academy's already been established. You pick up in Future State at the Titans Tower has been destroyed. It's fallen. Dick is searching the rubble for something in a suitcase. You don't know what he's looking for. And it kind of it just goes to them letting, like Brian said, McClay said Raven was talking to whoever's in the cell. And then you just see it cuts to Dick handing him the mask. He's putting the mask on and walking out. So I think it'll be maybe issue 2 or 3 before we find out who Red X's true identity is. But this was like the hottest book coming out of Future State that was heavily spec'd on. I think to kind of go what McClay was saying is the whole Clown Hunter thing. I honestly think Clown Hunter is just a vehicle to transition Harley from a bad guy to a good guy, because she's like one that feels more responsible for the death of his family, and it's kind of that driving factor for her to make that character change in the main continuity, which it seems like that's what Tynion's trying to do is flush her into a member of the Bat family by the way things have gone with the way Joker War ended and all that.
No, that's cool. And yeah, like Brandon says here too, he says, I'm not a DC guy, but as comic lover, I want all comic creators to do well. That's the truth, man. And I really do. And I could see it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like the excitement that you hear out of you guys talking about this, the excitement that I see, and then being able to read some of these books and actually understand what's going on. Look, it does look a glimmer of hope there. And I hope we got it. So
did you guys read anything else good this week?
Haha. I mean, Haha was the steal of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, what a beautiful matter of fact. Here we go, right here.
Oh, the Wanted Comics.
Beautiful, man. Shout out to Wanted Comics again. I know we talked, basically did a commercial for him last night, but this cover is so damn good, man. So damn good.
So, did you guys like the last frame of that book?
Yeah.
You did? I liked everything up to the very last frame where she's like, can we spoil this?
Yeah, hell yeah. Spoiling it. Hell yeah.
Where she's like, oh, get inside, you're embarrassing or whatever. Like, I thought it was really cool. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of a...
Well, the reason that they're kind of showing that, and this is my take on it, is that when he got shot, it messed up something in his head, and he sees everything like great and fine. Like when he walked in, and he's like, "Why are you guys look like balloons?" You could see that he's seeing everything fucked up. It's not seeing what it is. And then when you go to that last panel, and she's harping on him, like, that's not what he's feeling. He thought it was great. He's like, oh, this is awesome. Look, you guys look like balloon animals. And then she's like, oh, get inside. You're an embarrassment. And they show what she really looks like, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool when I liked when they showed him going into the bank and like the part where he kind of snaps. There was like a panel where it looked like he's sitting there and he's holding a gun to his head, just like, haha, like, I don't even care. And you're just like, dude, that panel is wicked right there. Some of the things that they talk about, I hope that, and this is so close to Ice Cream Man, because I know is this the same, is this like a spinoff from Ice Cream Man? What's going on with this?
I believe it's a book by the same creator. That's it.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it isn't like what do they call those anthologies where it's a different story each time?
It is.
I hope they stick. It is.
Yep. Yeah. If you saw the preview for the next one, it is.
That's a bummer.
Yep.
But is the clown going to be in the next one?
I think it's all based around clowns. I think clowns is the main theme of the book, but I think each book it's an anthology book where each book is going to be something different.
That's why the ending was a little bit disappointing in that last frame, I think, in my opinion, because then you saw the lady in the next one can do anything.
Yeah, but all they did was show a page from it. They didn't.
Right. You're right. He might be back.
Yeah, I hope he's back because that was a great opening for him. They got right to the point. There was no playing around. I like that type of stuff. It was very easy to read. It was quick.
It was very Killing Joke. I thought. Yeah. I thought there's a lot of comparisons to Killing Joke that can be made in there.
It was very Joker-esque, like River Phoenix Joker-esque.
Mhm.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix Joker-esque. So yeah, did you guys see the second print to that yet? Let me pull that up here. Yeah, this is the second print. So obviously, I mean, it went to second print immediately, right? So let's see here.
So JJ Maxwell says, I don't see haha having much staying power. Both horror anthologies and creepy clowns are played out. I don't know, man. I would think the same a little bit, but like the clown game is strong, man. Like people either love clowns or hate clowns. If they hate and think they're the creepiest things in the world, they just buy it up. And if they love clowns and think clowns are great because they're creepy, they buy it up too, man. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's in. I think that kind of stuff's in right now. I think you capitalize on haha and Ice Cream Man now, because with the revival of like Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix and kind of the disappearance, like the strange phenomenon documentaries that people are into in Netflix, I think right now is the time to strike while the iron's hot and get this out there. I think it works just because every episode is something different, and if you can make each episode crazier than the last, you're gonna have a home run.
So
right.
one of the things that I really love about the haha and the imagery is the imagery for the second print. I'm a big fan of like old school movie posters from the 20s and 30s. And this totally reminds me of The Man Who Gets Slapped, an old Lon Chaney movie. And I own a reproduction of this poster. I framed it and everything. Beautiful. Yeah. But I love shit like this. And if they can keep imagery that's kind of still not too like Pennywise, and just, they don't go too horror-esque, but it's more like psychological and sad. And I hope they get into that type of stuff. We'll see. But very cool. Really cool. Marco, you're muted, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is why I kind of thought the impression was going to be, and we found out that JJ Maxwell hates clowns. So that's where some of his opinions coming from. But when he said he thought it was too niche, it's not quite like Ice Cream Man, but I think they're going to do like the carnival. When Blue Green had said that, I think what they're going to do is the carnival different characters. So they're going to run through the entire, because that like carnival type thing shut down. I think each book is going to be a different character in the same carnival, and that's kind of what they're going to do. That's what I was under the impression of when I looked at the end of it. I think that might be kind of cool because you get to see like you'll see all the typical characters in the carnival come through, and they'll all have a different story and a different point of view. If they do that, I don't see it being much different than Ice Cream Man. I think it's cool. I mean, it is very short. I don't know what you're going to do, but you could definitely combine them together. I'm not quite sure it does have.
Did you guys read Gwenum?
Right with that.
The Gwenum Mary Jane stuff?
I did order my J Scott Campbell covers today.
Oh, nice. I didn't get in on that. I really like that secret variant, the one with the shirts where they're wearing the shirts.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I got.
Yeah.
I made sure to get that one.
Yeah, that one's super dope. Do they sell out immediately? No?
I had forgotten, and I went on at like 11:30 our time. And for some reason, I think a lot of people were on it because it was sending me over to PayPal so that I could pay for it. And I would log in, but it wouldn't bring up the screen so I could pay and go back. So I had to wait. And then I went on 2 hours later, and I still bought all the covers that I wanted. So
cover B is awesome, man. Is that the one where she's wearing the shirts, right?
Yep.
They're wearing the shirts.
Yeah. It's
B and C are good.
I like the one where it's like half of both covers. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I don't like A. I think that the way that so for basically they did sell out. Yeah.
Is it sold out now?
They sold out of A, B, and C signed. Which is kind of a bummer, but oh well.
I didn't get any of them signed. I always get the unsigned ones.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's see here. Did they sell that one out? Join the waiting list.
Oh, that means they're sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. But cover B is damn good. Cover B is. Oh, they did sell out. They must have sold out of everything, huh? That's a bummer.
I'm glad I bought them when I did.
I didn't get. I was going to get one, but now they're sold out. Yeah, that's a bummer. Look, look. This is the cool one, right? Here, I'll show everybody what we're talking about. This one right here. That's the one I want. I want that one so bad. I'm gonna have to buy it on the secondary market now. Damn it. The secondary market, eBay.
The low price of $89.95. 3 is the installment Sunday.
I know. Look how dope those shirts look on them, though.
I know, it's so awesome. It's great.
Yeah. But look, I just don't like how they made Mary Jane. She looks so stupid. And I read the book, and it was not good. It was horrible.
Was it really
bad? Oh man, it was bad, dude. It was really bad.
So you're literally just buying it for the cover.
It made no sense. It's just like Spider-Gwen roaming around the city, and she's like, "Why are all these dragons running around? And why can't I?" And then she gets touched. She helps somebody, and then she gets the goo on her. And then when the goo gets on her, she's slowly turning into Gwenum, but she doesn't realize it. And then just Mary Jane just pops out of YouPorn. Mary Jane just pops out of nowhere, and she's like, "Hi, Mary Jane, haven't seen you in a while." And you're like, "What?" Like, it was really. You could tell that this is just like a quick money grab type thing.
I think the key in that book is what Null says, because as she's fighting, the Venom symbiote is slowly going over her, but it's not taking her over. And he says something along the effects of another one who, this is odd. It's someone who can't that isn't instantly affected by me, or can fight off my infection. I have to pull up let me grab the issue and get the exact translation. But I think that's the big takeaway from it, is that she's not as affected by the symbiote as you would expect her to be, because it's kind of not taking her over. She's still very in control of everything she's doing, and Noel's not able to control her. Let me pull it up here. Where is it? Just a second. He says, interesting. What are you, little light? Mine, but not mine. Something else, something other, something like me. Everything is mine, and now I shall acquire it too. So, it's the Venom symbiote's not taking her over. So there's something there that she's got, that she's able to control the Venom symbiote or wear the symbiote without it taking her over, like Null can. Versus everyone else who is, as soon as it gets touched, they're automatically taken over, and Null's got control of them. So I think it'll be interesting for that book to see what more comes of that.
Well, speaking of J Scott Campbell,
yeah, we can get into that. Get into it. You transitioned for it.
Great segue. Hello.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think?
McKay, I think that's what McClay calls a Segoo right there.
Yeah.
A strong.
I tried. Everyone kind of looked at me.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You started.
No.
I was going to jump in there and take it over. Go ahead.
He had to reset. That's awesome.
So we decided that we wanted to start doing lists in the show, top 10 lists. And we kind of figured, why not start with an artist Kyle and I both are fans of, and J Scott Campbell, and we both put together our own J Scott Campbell list, and we kind of talked, and we were like, should we do it separately or do it as a group? And we kind of went back and forth on it, and Kyle was like, well, let me see your list and see how many of those same books we both have. Because that was a fear, is that when we do this list, we're all going to have the same books. It's going to be like we're all going to just be circle jerking over the same books. But it's funny because I don't think we have even the single same book on our lists. So do you want to go down your list first, Kyle? Nuh-uh. Well, you're going to.
So at number 10, it's just, everybody knows it's just a great J Scott Campbell cover. I love it. It's Danger Girl. It's great. What do you guys think?
I mean,
what is this? This is the image that is on the ruby red version of Danger Girl, right? that everybody's going crazy, went crazy for. It's super hard to find. I think the ruby red one is even better than this. Like,
when you think about J Scott Campbell, isn't this where you think the starts, like Danger Girl? That's the one thing that always
Gen 13.
Yep.
Yeah, Gen 13 and Danger Girl. I really think Danger Girl more. I mean, I know Gen 13, but like when I think of it, I think because Danger Girl, that was the McFarlane toy that they put out through that too. I mean, that's where I think JSC and yeah, I like it. I mean, it's not. I like selling it. Let me put it that way. I like selling it.
I like selling it. So number 9. I know Brian just completely and totally shit on this cover about 2 minutes ago. But it's still kind of a cool cover, I know. I liked it. It was hard. It almost actually, I had 11 books, and as I was trying to dwindle these books down, this one almost didn't make the cut. But I just decided that it is kind of a cool cover. I like the colors. It kind of pops. I figured it was worth putting on the list, especially since it's a topic right now, and it's something that just came out. It's actually not out. You could have, like, I pre-ordered it today, so I like it. What do you guys think? I know I don't want to hear Brian here. You shit on it.
All right, it's not one of my favorites. I think he's got so much more talent than this, and I like a lot of his other covers way more.
I think it's because the females don't look like cats.
I don't think you want to hear my opinion on this one either, because I'm going to stay with him up there, and maybe him down there too. Not exactly my
Marco.
favorite. Yeah, sorry, not my favorite JS.
I give this one a 2. See, Marco, it's not a 3; it's a 2.
Yeah, I know you went down. That must really be bad.
And these covers that he did, the Tinkerbell cover, I'd love it. It's probably it's one of my it's number 8 on this list, and it's pretty badass. I mean, like, I just think it's great. It's not fucking Marvel. He did, you know what I mean? It's kind of his look, but I think I really like where he went with this. So,
yeah, I think when you see a lot of the stuff that he does in the non too big brands, it's very interesting how many J Scott Campbell covers there are out there. I know for a while, I mean, he's still very popular, right? Like, if you get J Scott Campbell, especially some of his earlier stuff, it's a key issue because of the collectors, right? There's J Scott Campbell collectors. They like a lot of the early stuff. Some of his stuff does venture out into the that off-brand realm, not even the big 3 type stuff, and be on the lookout for it, because there's definitely people that like it. I think this is really clean. I think this is a lot better than the last cover we saw. I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, he used light. It's good, and it's not just somebody bending over.
Yep, number 7.
It's not just somebody bending over.
Same thing with this one. I just think, these covers, I think he just killed it on them.
He did. He slayed this whole run of covers that he did, and this has always been one of my favorites. I love his usage of the lore of the story of Alice in Wonderland and the mushroom and her being small sitting on top of it, and it's just these. I love these covers.
They're great. Number 6, dude. These are
Disqualified.
6 was hard. This one was hard for me to put at number 6. I kind of wanted it to be higher, but when I was sitting there trying to figure it out, there's just better covers. But I know Marco was like, this is $3, but they connected, so I made it 1. But
yeah, as much as
I was gonna say that your love of, like, that movie that pulls you towards this cover.
Yeah, I mean, it being one of my favorite artists.
Evil Dead.
I love Evil Dead. I love Ash. It's got the horror. I mean, anything that's got Freddy Krueger and Jason on it is awesome as well.
Yeah, I do like it too. To see him move away from the same, he does a lot of the same women pose type thing. that he does. To see him move away from that and do something, even though it is I think it should be disqualified because it is 3 covers. I do actually like this. I like that they went to horror with it. The background coloring is really good. That he filled in a lot more than he normally does on that. It'd be easy to make it too busy, but you have it. And Ash looks like he's coming at you with that chainsaw, which is just iconic. So I actually think, you said you should have lowered it. Maybe I think you should have actually picked this one up and put it up a couple spaces. But then again, it's 3 books, so I understand.
That's what
you're getting penalized on the 3 books thing. There was no rules to this, but you're just being penalized because it's 3 books.
Number 5. Now everybody knows why this. It's just such a hard cover to come by. I had to put on a list just because I don't have it, and I could never get. It's something that's always I haven't been able to get. And I mean, the reds, the blacks, the pose. Even though her back is breaking, it's great. It's just an awesome cover.
I never saw the big. I just couldn't get into this cover. Everyone loved it. Everyone jumped on it. I never. Man, that's. I mean, if you can get that in a 9.8, good on you. That's a solid book to have in a 9.8 because you got that black and red cover, and man, every time that you touch that, you're going to leave fingerprints, spine tips,
not only
cracks, color breaks. I mean,
right, Marco.
So I mean, getting it in a 9.8, yeah, right on you. But I just couldn't get behind this one.
No, I like it because I've got the other one. I just got another variant, and it's the blonde-haired one and the blue cover. That's all right. But number 4,
I get behind that one.
I just love this cover. It's Rob Zombie. It's just I didn't even realize it was J Scott Campbell at first, and this is probably one of my. The reason this is number 4 is because it's a great cover. Everything is so fun. I wish he would have done all of the covers instead of just this number 1.
I like the homage part to it too, and it's good. I enjoy this one. That's why I'm saying, I guess sometimes you get burnt out and you get fatigued when you're looking for J. Scott Campbell stuff. When you were going through all the Tale stuff, I remember the big run on those where we were hunting for them, and the Danger Girl stuff and the Gen 13 stuff, and all of a sudden it starts looking a lot of stuff starts looking the same, which I get it. That's what people want. But when you start going out to these other ones like this, he did didn't he do a He-Man type thing too? Mm-hmm. He did the other book we showed with Ash. When you start getting into that type of stuff, I really start enjoying a little bit more of his artwork. It looks like he fills in a lot more there too in the background. Where when he does a lot of those girl books, it just seems like the girls front and center, which they should be, and there's not much added on to the extra background.
I mean, I already have this book. It's right here. I have it. J. Scott Campbell autographed it already. I would kill a few people if I can get Rob Zombie to sign it. I would.
Even unsigned, these books, they're not cheap, and finding them in good grade is not easy as well.
No,
these Zombie number 1s, man, they're.
This is another great score where Jesse was awesome enough to let Brian and I dig through a collection he bought. And I pulled this. I think I pulled this whole run out for the first 10 books of this run. So
wasn't he traveling around shows around this time? And the one was coming out at shows a lot of times. Weren't they selling a lot of these ones at shows? If I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly. I think Rob was actually going on the con market and selling these, if I remember correctly. I might not, but anyways, that's gonna be a tough book.
This cover. This is one of the covers I left off my list. I just put a list together really quick, but I left this off my list, and it's one of the few books that I'm I'm right there with you, Kyle. This is a great book to find in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, getting Sid you're right. Invite to get Sid to sign it before he would have passed would have been pretty fucking awesome as well.
I bet you there are some out there, Kyle.
I'm sure there are.
That would have been huge.
I don't see very many for sale, signed and graded, but it's definitely on my look list.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. I think I remember them going to cons and having this book and people big line sign because I was like, why is Rob Zombie there and signing comic books? And I'm pretty sure they were selling them there too. So you might be able to get a signed copy here or there of him and his crew. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I would love to come across one. But okay, number 3, I'm 100% with. This is where I agree with Brian. This cover's badass. And I know it just came out, but the shirts, the poses, I think J Scott Campbell killed it on this cover.
The trade dress.
It's just
The colors.
everything. Like I just think he did a fucking badass job. And I was excited putting this list together. I was like, fuck yeah, I actually get to put this on the list, like I did this list just in time.
Yeah,
But-
I like when they give him enough time and his stuff doesn't look rushed. When they give him time and a heads up, ahead of time, man, he adds that detail. He really knocks it at. I mean, look at the silver and black, lining on the amplifier. It looks freaking real.
The guitar looks amazing.
Yeah, it's
He did a great job.
when they give him the time to add the detail that he likes to add, he just knocks it out of the park. And when they rush him, it just looks rushed. This is a great cover.
It is. Number 2. This always has to make the list. It's just a badass cover. It kills it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Amazing Spider-Man 606. Spidey kissing Black Cat. I'm all for it. I'm a Black Cat fan, man.
It's in the white cover and the way it just pops on it. It's great.
There's
Love
only
it.
one thing that ever disturbed me about this cover. I really, really like the cover, but Spider-Man's butt looks like a pointy arrow. Like it just is so.
He's swinging the wrong way.
Look at my arrow butt.
He's just
Pointy over there.
excited. That's how spiders get excited. They get pointy butt.
Yeah, I guess so. It's his arachnid, thorax. His thorax is a little pointy there. A little black widowish.
All right, number 1. God, I had to do it. Sorry, guys. I know it's kind of cliche, but you know what? It's a beautiful cover.
I think probably Matt's going to have another one of the iconic JSCs. You think Danger Girl, you think this cover, and there's one more cover that I didn't see in yours. I bet you Matt's probably going to have it in his.
I know Matt has it in his, yeah.
Yeah. I think they're probably the typical, when you think JSC covers, those are the covers you think about. So,
but that's it. It was hard, man. I looked and I looked and I looked. I kept going, that's a great cover. That's a great cover. That's a great cover. And it was really hard. But what I really try to get down to is which covers of him, as I enjoy him, did I enjoy the most of his? And these were the covers. Are the covers.
Very cool.
It is hard because he has so many good ones.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we'll get into mine. I did number 9. So number 10 at mine, Darth Vader number 1. Look, I'll be honest with you. When I'm a huge anime guy, and when I go looking for anime statues or anime anything, the faces are the first thing I notice in art. And this cover to me is a killer, but Luke's face, Luke in general just doesn't sell it for me. So it just not.
Is it on your list?
It is. It's number 10.
Then why is it on your list if it doesn't sell it for you?
Because I think the rest of the cover is beautiful, but the reason I put it so low is because of the face. So because of the face,
I really hate this cover, but it's number 10.
No. I love the way Vader and the stormtroopers look and how it's got that ruler, an emperor threat there, but just I put it so low because of the way Luke looks in it. It's just
because Luke has butterface.
Right.
Yeah, that stormtrooper there, that was always the joke. Black Series needs to get better head adjustments because of the stormtrooper on the left, if you guys know that one. This cover is not among my favorites. to JSC, but it's nice to see him do something different.
Number 9, Savage Wolverine. I just think this is a badass Wolverine cover. Like, I kind of just like the way it got the claws coming out. I mean, the hand here is a little wonky, but I think for a Wolverine cover, it is pretty badass.
Once again, pointy butt.
Yes.
Yes.
He does like
Pointy butt strikes again.
Oh, look over here. I'm pointing that way with my butt.
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. That's an interesting one.
This is my number 8. I just love the detail in the hippo, and I mean, when it comes to J Scott Campbell, you can't go wrong with the scantily clad.
Wow, that's good.
God, I don't think I've ever even seen that cover.
Whiskey.
Yeah, he's got the whiskey, unlike Kyle in the Rascals.
That's cool. I like that. All right. That's a good one.
Let's see. Here's my next one. Superior Spider-Man. I mean, classic Black Cat cover. I love the Spider-Man yarn.
Is she still alive, that character?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, she's getting ready to have a big part coming up here. Big part.
Is she a good girl or a bad girl right now?
She's kind of in between.
Oh, yeah.
Depends
She
on
working for the kingpin, or
depends
she
on the night at the club.
Yeah. And then I've got this classic X-Men Legends Reborn cover. Like that, I just think that's a beautiful beast and Shadowcat.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lockheed.
Yeah, that's
The only thing with that, it's like a muscles on a muscles thing.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
That's
beast.
beast,
He should
though. Yeah.
He should be built like that.
Yeah. He's not. Shouldn't have human musculature, right? It looks cool.
he looks cool. Everything, the wings too on Lockheed, it's cool. And how she's kind of coming to the wall too. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really cool.
She was super cool at that period too. That was the period where she like really became Shadowcat, and then that was just after the whole thing with Wolverine in Japan, right? Where she like got taken over by the Tanto.
Mm-hmm. The next one on my list, Spider-Man 800 variant. I mean, just this Green Goblin is fantastic in my opinion. The face.
I always loved that one. Since the day it came out, the way you're absolutely right. The way he nailed that goblin on his glider is just dope.
Yeah, just the body positioning, and it's a beautiful cover. Classic X-Men Phoenix Resurrection. I love, again, I always joke, J Scott Campbell, his faces, they can look like cats. It's something, the way he draws the nose, they look like cats. But I think this is a beautiful Jean Grey cover. And he nails the face here. She does not look like a cat. So the Spawn 301. This is my number 3. This is I just think this is such a badass cover. Badass J Scott Campbell variant for that book.
Yeah, I do love that cover. He did a good job on that one. And it was so different from all the other 301s.
Yeah. And I love the use of color in it, and his different spectral forms coming out from him, and it's just a beautiful cover. My number 2 is the Black Cat version of this cover. Again, Black Cat number 1. I think it's a beautiful cover, well done, well drawn. Just the detail on Felicia and in everything else, and it's so good. But of course, my number 1 being Spider-Man 601, a classic. And I picked this one mainly because I have a good story with this book and J Scott Campbell, where I got him to sign it twice at a con. So, but I still think it's just one of those iconic Spider-Man covers that everyone looks for if you're a J Scott Campbell fan. It's like a must-have if you're a J Scott Campbell collector. Almost call him Scamble. Scamble.
Campbell.
Do you want to run through yours, Brian, since you said you just created one?
Yeah. So I agree with Kyle on this one. Like, this is just my honorable mention because Kyle brought it up. This is a great book, and I would love to find all 3 issues. I still can't find any of them. So great stuff, really tough to find in the wild, and would look great in a connecting cover frame. would look amazing in a connecting cover frame. So shout out to Kyle on that one. These are in no particular order. This is one from me as a kid. I love this issue of Gen 13, or this cover of Gen 13. Like, this is one of the best covers in the whole Gen 13 run, along with this one. Like, look how great that cover is. This is back when J Scott Campbell was first like entering the scene, and to see shit like this, I think I was probably a teenager at this time. It was like, holy shit, this stuff's amazing. And
all of Brian's issues are still stuck together.
Gen 13, man, was such a great comic when it first came out. Like, and I imagine if I went and looked at it now, I'd probably be like, it's garbage, but the art was amazing, right? This Deadpool versus X-Force variant for #1 is just amazing. One of the best Deadpool covers, and it's great to have a J Scott Campbell cover that isn't a chick. So I really love Deadpool versus X-Force #1. This one is one of my all-time favorite books that I will probably never find. This is the Black Panther #1 variant, con variant. I think it was San Diego. And as you can see, it's black. It's Shuri as Black Panther, and the background is black and white. So really hard to find. One of the toughest books that you'll ever find. So if you ever see this book and it's cheap, definitely pick it up. And if you don't want it, send it my way. The next one is this Superman Gen 13 book. And I love Fairchild and Supergirl, or Fairchild dressed up as Superwoman and Superwoman, real Superwoman being there. This is another tough book. It's a B cover, I think. I think there is an A cover that's different. I think this might be the B cover, but another tough book to find in the wild. Great book, Superman Gen 13, #2. Of course, I agree with Kyle on this one. This is way better, in my opinion, than any of the Mary Jane ones. The shirt, wearing her shirt, and just the shirt is fucking classic. Mm-hmm. Her sitting on all the diamonds. Her hair, I dig chicks with all white hair. Like, I think that is super, super sexy, and he just killed it on this cover. This one, Blue Monday, really tough book to find in the wild. Old school J Scott Campbell. Not a lot of people know about this one. This one's a great cover. Getting down to the nitty gritty. Ant. So this is a tough book. Mario Gully, I think, is the creator of Ant. And this was done by was this Avatar Press? I can't remember. Do you remember, Greg? I think it was Avatar.
No, it might have been Avatar. It was something. This thing was really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was he was in prison, right? When he did this.
I think, I'm not sure about that, but if that's true, that makes it even better. But these
something like
covers,
that.
Yeah, these Ant covers are some of the best. J Scott Campbell does a couple of the Ant covers. This is Ant cover #2.
Pointy butt.
And it's just badass, man. Like,
good
great
story,
character.
dude.
There's a great Spawn cover with Ant too. You guys should check that out.
It's a little girl.
Yeah, this is by far, in my opinion, the greatest J Scott Campbell covers that ever have been done. And G.I. Joe Danger Girl, the Scarlet, is absolutely one of my all-time favorite covers. And it's really hard to say that something beats it, but the Cobra, the Baroness, J Scott Campbell Danger Girl variant is absolutely amazing. Super hard books to find, especially in high grade. I love how she's holding Destro's faceplate. I think that's so badass. I love Baroness covers. I love Scarlet. Scarlet was like, I remember as a kid trying to find, because it was so hard to find her figures because she was only like in the first run of Joe's. So like, if you missed out on those early runs, you never found her figures, and just really dope shit, man. So those are mine.
Nice. I like it because there's not much overlapping. That's what's cool about him. He's got so many covers, so he's kind of flavors for everybody, and I think that's awesome.
What are you guys doing? You guys gonna do next week?
Next week, we're doing our favorite 301 or 300 cover swipes.
Very cool.
Yeah, so if you in the chat want to get in on that, or send in a video of your, or a little something showing us what your favorite 301 cover swipes are, 300 cover swipes, and 301, we welcome it. So
yeah, it'd be awesome. I'm excited about this one. I was already digging through looking for some of mine.
There's only like one or two,
right? It's going to be hard to do 10.
Marco, you got anything big in Star Wars coming this week you want to touch on?
Apparently, if you haven't been watching the chat, there's a funny thumbnail going around. I will say that I don't create my own thumbnail. Somebody else does it for me, and they're very entertaining. But yeah, we got some cool stuff going on. First off, what do we got for slides, Matt? And I will run through what we have. Send it to me. Do we have slides? If we don't have slides, I can wing it. We can do whatever. All right. So on the left here, we have the Star Wars High Republic #1 third print. It's an interior page. This was also the black and white page that they previewed in $199. Do remember both $199 for the Star Wars Insider is doing well. The original one that had the cover, thank you, Steve Horn. And the Darth Vader one, believe it or not, is picking up pace on it. So you still go out there and try to find those Darth Vader 199s. If you can't find them at your local Barnes & Nobles or Books A Million, you can always try Kroger. Believe it or not, some Kroger stock this in a certain section. On the right, I just want to shout out real quickly. I know McClay is just coming in here and promoting everything before we can promo it. The book
and Bale.
Yeah. The book over there is a wanted comic cover for #2.
Comics with an X.
With an X, yes. I will tell you a little bit more about that because it has something we've kind of been. If you watch me and Solo Wookie's little review on our comic review for Star Wars High Republic #1, we kind of hinted at something there. Drew over there at Wanted Comics with an X put out a little post on IG today that verified what we were talking about. We'll get into that with our review for the novel tomorrow. Listen, I talked to the guy today because I told him we were going to talk about one of his books. I'm not a huge person that is a fan of typical store variants. However, I will tell you this. His variants are pretty cool, man. They're very reasonable price. And after talking to him, I have a lot of confidence in him. I'm actually going to maybe do a little surprise. Maybe I'll buy some for a couple of people on the show.
Thank you, Marco, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
not you.
nice
Then thanks, bro.
You're welcome, Solo Wookie.
Buy at least 4 of them.
You're welcome, Solo Wookie. The rest of you, that's fine. You just
wow.
But yeah, check out Wanted Comics for that. He does some cool stuff. Check out his IG post if you want a little clue in, if you don't want to wait for the spoiler tomorrow. But we will have Jen and we will have Pete. They both listened to the audiobook. I actually read it a couple times. It's cool, man. The novel's got a lot of spoilers of it, and spoilers that will flow over to the comics, and we will hit those up there, give you a complete deep dive breakdown of it. Do remember Star Wars.
Order your novel, or did you pick it up at like Barnes and Noble, or did you order it off
yeah,
Amazon?
so I pick all mine. This is lame. I know it's lame, and they're going to kill me for this, but I pick up all mine from Barnes and Nobles because Barnes and Nobles gives you. Hold on, they give you a little extra in it, and I want all my books to match. I know this is. I mean, it's one of those things collectors do, right? So Barnes and Nobles, in all their Star Wars books, they always have a
pair of socks.
Right after the intro page, yeah. They always have like something like this. They have like a little poster. I don't take the posters out of it. I will say this. I shouldn't have mentioned the out of print book last week on this because as soon as I mentioned it, the very next morning I went and I was like, yeah, I kind of like the dust jacket. Maybe I'll buy a second one too, even though it didn't match the rest of my collection. Because like I said, like the Barnes and Nobles exclusives always have the fold out thing. This one is probably one of the worst posters they've done before, but whatever. It is what it is. The
just cover A for the floppy, same picture, isn't it? Or cover one of the covers.
It's the same cover as this, and the second part right here is the that's the promo art that they had done. So, but with that being said, the out of print book is sold out now too. We will cover both of those and what the extras were with that. Maybe even cover kind of how they're going for right now. I do know, I think it was Eric that asked in the chat before last week about them. And apparently everybody took the advice and they sold out that out of print and those things are going pretty good. Apparently you could just sell the socks because people will buy those socks nowadays. So Barnes & Noble exclusive poster tag. Cool. So we will get into all that. Eric did have a question, and I don't know where this question is exactly coming from, but he was asking if Acolytes, if there's characters that would come out of the Acolytes or the Acolytes TV show. I still think the Acolytes are going to come out a later version. They're going to be later down the line, more towards Mandalorian than this. But if they do come out of this section, yes, the novel does have some characters that could play into the Acolyte books. Feel free tomorrow to show up for our chat. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? 9 in the middle, which would be Central. And then if you're in the desert, that means 8 o'clock. Come by, check us out, hit the comics up. Any questions you have, we will be live. Me, Pete, and Jen from Comic Book Women will be there. Oh, order that print real quick. Yep. So we got.
Nice.
Order what real quick?
The third print, the High Republic third print. It's FOC for that. Honestly, it's probably going to be ordered heavy. You probably should wait for the fourth print. But people like those two characters. So you never know. I mean, that High Republic stuff is ridiculous. It's just selling out. I mean, it is selling out. It's selling out, and it's selling out. I don't know why, but I mean, it's a good storyline. But
It's selling out because everybody's buying it.
yeah, thanks for that.
Is that how that works?
Thanks for that, dude. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the second print was short. Order came up really quickly. People didn't see that one coming. I know that will be coming out in February, so make sure you grab those if you can, or reserve them at your LCSs. That should be a little bit low of a print run. But High Republic has defied the odds of print runs. And I know we talked about print runs earlier and how much it doesn't matter anymore. I think High Republic is the perfect example of that, right? Like, there's a high print run on that and nobody cares. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't. So
No, it sure hasn't seemed to. And there's still some people with a few of them here and there. I still see them on eBay and some other shops still seem to have them that have online stores and stuff. So I mean, that's a good thing. But they seem to still be selling.
yeah, they're going pretty good, I guess. Yes, the out of print edition JJ is officially out of print. And Eric, of course, we love it. We'll see you there. By the way, if you didn't check out Maximus's show on Wednesday, it's really good. Eric is doing a lot of the graphics for us. He actually will have some graphics for one of the new type of shows we're going to break down too. We really appreciate Eric and everything he's doing. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Well, on that note, I just want to take a real quick second to acknowledge the chat and say how it's fire as always, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. If you're having a good time, make sure to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, do so, and make sure to hit that bell notification so you know when any one of our great shows goes live on the channel. But let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit of WandaVision. Give our thoughts on the first few episodes of WandaVision here.
Did everybody hear? I don't think Marco, you didn't watch it, did you, Marco? Did you watch it, Greg?
No.
All right. I read both the old version and the new version, and I hope that some of it hits. So I want to hear it. Tell me what's going on.
Did you watch it, Brian?
Not yet.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna spoil it for everyone then, huh?
Good. Start us off, Matt.
I mean, look, I loved WandaVision for the simple fact that I think it's a show I think it's very intelligent in the way they did it. If you're a huge comic book fan, like the Easter eggs in this show are fantastic. They drop all throughout it. If you're like the casual Marvel movie viewer, you're like you might be kind of a little lost and not sure really what's going on in the foreground. But I like that old sitcom Bewitched, I Love Lucy style of sitcom kind of masks the Easter eggs that are hidden in the background, and the normal, the big hardcore comic book fans like, oh man, there's that, and you're just finding Easter eggs like crazy, and it's still enjoying the good show that
What are some of the Easter eggs that you've seen?
There's a ton of Easter eggs. So look, I mean, this show, you got to question where it takes place. It obviously takes place after Endgame. And in Endgame, you see Vision basically get killed twice, and you see Thanos rip the stone out of his head.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of wonder what's going on with Wanda at this point. And one of your biggest clues here is SWORD. They changed the name of SWORD. In the comics, SWORD is Sentient World Observation and Response Department. Where in the show, SWORD stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Division. So it's like, what happened to Vision's body? Who has Vision's body? Vision's body's got to be somewhere. You got to think somebody's going to want whatever, because he's made up of Jarvis. He's made up of Ultron. He's made up of Tony. He's like the perfect AI. So somebody's going to want Vision and want what he possesses in his body. So you're going to see, a lot of that. So it's going to be interesting to see what Sword wants with them. And throughout the underlying tones of the show, you definitely get a very vibe of she's being controlled, or this is in her head. There's something wrong here, to the point like in episode 2, there's a radio where you just hear in the background, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you?
To the point where the house that they're in episode 1 is not the house that they're in episode 2. There was not an upstairs. There's, you know what I mean? It's 2 different houses. And that's what, like, even when I was talking to you about it, Matt, I was like, I wouldn't even think about her being controlled or whatever, but I was like, what the fuck? Like, did they go cheap the first episode and then they did it on the second episode? But it makes more sense after you're like, there's something else going on.
Right. So, I mean, some of the other Easter eggs is right here in the Bewitch opening for episode 2. You see the Bova milk sign up here. That's actually, Bova has a lot of significance to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver when they were children.
Yeah.
It was
she took care of them on Wondagore.
Yeah.
After
it was I'm anthropomorphic, like, being that fed them and nourished them. So that holds a lot of significant value to her origin story. This one right here is interesting as well. The Vision appearing through the floor. It's this helmet right here.
Mm-hmm.
That helmet plays a big factor into it, as well. I'm trying to see my notes because I noted that down.
Is that a coup from Samurai Jack?
It kind of looks like
Totally joking, folks. But it does kind of look like a coup.
Then, so this bottle of wine is in episode 1 plays a big thing because Mephris in French is supposedly madness when I looked it up. So a reference to House of M. So House of her madness. Then you have the cool thing about the show is it has old school commercials into it too. So like Strucker the watch, and we all know that Baron von Strucker, he created Wanda and Pietro in Age of Ultron. So he was responsible for their creation in the movies.
I love the little Hydra emblem underneath.
Yep.
As well as being a top Hydra agent.
Next Christmas, you too can have that watch.
Yeah, I want that watch.
Thunderbolts.
And then the Toastmate 2000 from Stark Industries. This plays a big thing because if you remember, when you first see Wanda and Pietro, they tell the story about how they were stuck in the rubble of a building for 3 days, and all they could look at was a missile with Stark on the side of it. And at one point in this, before the toast pops up, it starts beeping. It starts beeping louder and louder, almost like it's about to detonate. So I thought that was pretty cool to kind of reference that aspect of the show and movies and all that as well. Glamour and illusion. So there's a part in episode 2 where they do a magic show for like a cul-de-sac talent show, and they go under the identities of Glamour and Illusion. Well, Glamour and Illusion were their neighbors in the Scarlet and the WandaVision comic book series. So they were all, she pretends and that magic is real, and that's kind of what their powers was
Scarlet
as well.
and Wanda.
Yeah.
Right, when you're saying it.
Mm-hmm. Vision and Wanda series.
Wanda series.
So when did I believe it's Vision and Scarlet Witch number 5. So it's kind of cool. The significance of the real cool thing is, like, I'm not sure the significance of this is yet.
Way better in black and white than she does in color.
Yeah, but certain parts of the show are in color, like this very Iron Man-esque painted up helicopter that it kind of, shows that things are breaking through her mental psyche a little bit. But when they go to the front of it, it's got the sword logo on it. So more hint toward sword in that. This is an interesting one. So at the end of episode 2, she hears a noise and she walks outside, and up from a sewer comes the beekeeper. And the big joke is the beekeeper is the AIM henchman. So it could be a big connection to AIM here with the beekeeper. And she says, what really hints that it's going on her psyche is she says, no, we don't want to, she says no, and then like rewinds back to her and Vision like in this embrace in the living room, and then all of a sudden she's got the baby bump. So there's a lot to unpack in these first 2 episodes of WandaVision if you want to go looking for it. I've heard from a lot of sources that have seen multiple episodes now. Episode 3 is where this show really kicks off. So I understand a lot of people watched episode 1 and 2 and kind of like, I don't understand this, or this kind of sucks. But I'm going to stick through it. I don't know about Kyle.
I will. I don't know. There was like all that stuff's cool. Like there was a kind of cool Easter eggs. It's kind of cool. But I thought overall it just, and I'm hoping that they're doing something different and they're trying something new, and that these next couple episodes are really going to take us, and it's going to be like, okay, now it's getting good. And I think it just, maybe there's all this setup, and I don't know, too much. Like maybe it would be cooler if, I don't know, the 80s, maybe something that like, but I think a lot of people miss the throwbacks to Leave It to Beaver and Bewitched, and I think it's a little too far out for a lot of people to remember.
Yeah, I think that's what took away a lot of it for people was the old school TV show sitcom vibe of it. And like I said, there's a lot that you can unpack in these 2 episodes that I'm excited to keep on going. And I've watched the 2 of them at least 3 times now. Mm-hmm. So just to prepare for this, to kind of talk about it a little bit, but
but this is a question, like the comic based fan that not the speculator, but the comic based fan for WandaVision or for Wanda and Vision, do you think they're like the people that won't understand the Leave It to Beaver aspect of it? Do you think that's just a new, younger fan that's like, oh, I don't know what this is. I didn't have WGN if you're in the mid coast or whatever. Or do you think it's just I just don't understand. Like, this looks good. I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, cool. This could be kind of fun. This looks like a setup. I'm actually going to go watch it. Where I see some of the comments and some of the people are like, no, dude, I didn't get it. I'm just holding on because I hope this is a setup and it'll be better. Is that what you feel? Is it feel that you maybe like people of your generation or something gets this and this is for us maybe, and maybe it's not for everybody? Or do you think they just led the 2 first episodes on and then they're gonna pop it off? I just don't think Vision and Wanda are like that mainstay of a character that can connect everybody. You got to think their one big run was early on, right, in the 80s, and then you have the second run that came out in the 2000s. Like, who's this tailored to?
Also,
I think it's a connectivity issue though too, right? So if she's tearing reality or something that's happening here, it's supposed to bleed off into Doctor Strange and then into the next Spider-Man movie too, where reality starts shattering. That could be a great way too for the whole Deadpool thing to come in to make sense, right?
Yeah, and that's Grim Reaper's helmet. Also, that's whose helmet that is. That's what I was trying to think of. And just pop back in my head.
Yes, makes sense too, right? Grim Reaper, Simon Williams' brother.
Yeah, I don't think that's Galactus.
No, because it's very much the Grim Reaper helmet, like he just said. Like Greg just said, Simon Williams, who his Vision's brain was based off of in the comics, and like there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of subtle like Easter eggs in this stuff. And but to answer your question, Marco, I mean, I think it's hard because without seeing the rest of it, you're kind of left going, what the hell is going on from what you see in the MCU and you're used to the way this show kicks off, because it definitely kicks off differently.
And I think that's what got me.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was like it was like not what I like. I know they had given us the like the teasers that it was gonna be like this, but upon watching it, you're kind of just like
too much.
Like, yeah, like I mean, it left me curious. Like I was saying earlier, I wanted to see more. Like I want to, because I'm like, it left me curious, but I just didn't. They just could have. I think they could have done something else, but I don't know. It might the next couple episodes. I might be saying, you know what? Okay, I get it.
I think they hit you with the slow burn on purpose, because I think the rest of the show has to be crazy to carry over and toe the line through 2 more movies, right?
Yeah,
you would think, to toe the line through Doctor Strange and toe the line through Spider-Man 3. The rest of this has got to be crazy, and I think it's, for me, what's interesting is you want to see where's Wanda? Did all the events of the movies actually take place, or was it all in Wanda's head? Kind of what's going on. And I like that each episode is basically like centered around a different sitcom. It's kind of like, what is going on here? Because like the first one was very I Love Lucy. The second one was very Bewitched. If you've seen the stills, they've got one that's going to be very All in the Family or Facts of Life.
Was more Leave It to Beaver.
Or it had like Leave It to Beaver nuances in there too. But they have like a one that's almost Married with Children-esque, one that's Full House. So like
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, Brady Bunch. So each episode is like playing off of these different like sitcoms, but like at the end of it, the end of the first episode, it cuts back to reality, and you clearly see somebody watching a TV, watching it like it's a show, and it cuts off. And then the second one, you have the radio where clearly someone's coming through saying, "Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you?" So there's just subtle hints that this is all going on in her head, and that she's getting set to have that massive meltdown, that massive House of M reality shattering meltdown that makes her turn out to end up being the villain in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Did any of you watch this with somebody else?
I have not yet.
No. I watched it by myself. Like a loser.
Okay, so I watched this with future Mrs. X Solo Wookie if I don't play my cards right some days. And she is one of those MCU fans, kind of like you were talking about, Matt. She doesn't read comics. She half of the time would prefer I would shut up rather than explain Star Wars and comics to her. And the other half of the time, she's like, I don't get it. Explain it to me. Give me some more, knowledge. So she was lost. She had no idea. If I had not been there to kind of explain to her, that she's in her mind and that she's kind of losing it, and she's getting the build up to lose it, and everything was going to go. She said, I would have turned it off about halfway through the first one and never watched another episode and not even cared. And I get it. Me being 28, I kind of grew up on all those TV shows and stuff. So I understood the I Love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke first episode kind of run. And then I understood the Bewitched, and I understood they were trying to portray all that stuff of her getting
if
her
can
mind.
Get her to dress up like Jeannie from I Dream of Jeannie. It'll be my favorite episode.
and I think here's part of my problem is that we just came off of something super hot, right? Mando ends, and everyone's like, "Oh, Mando, it was wonderful, it was great, everyone loves Mando." And then you come into this slow burn 2-episode. It dragged with not enough action, not enough punch, not enough in your face.
I don't know. When he swallowed the gum was pretty exciting.
Yeah, right. and I did like some of the new stuff that they did, but I was really hoping. I mean, we're talking MCU, so we're coming out of Endgame, we're coming out of the Mandalorian, we're coming out of all this stuff, and it just was so not there. I mean, I'm in it for the long haul because I like the stuff. I like the lore. I liked all the little Easter egg stuff because you're right, Matt. There was a ton of it in there, but it just didn't. I was looking for it to pack that punch and really draw me in. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next ones. And honestly, if it ended right now and I didn't, see the rest of it, I wouldn't be sad. I'd be like, well, oh well. It wasn't. I'm curious, but I'm not drawn to it. I'm not attracted. I think I kind of hope, fingers crossed, with what they're doing, but I think coming out with the slow play like that was kind of a bad idea. I think people right now are really looking for that big grab you, pull you in, that big bang. And I didn't feel it with it. I thought they did a great job acting. I thought the sets were amazing. I will absolutely say that. Do you guys know if they filmed this on the new game engine studio?
Like they do Mando?
Yeah, like they did Mando.
I'm not sure.
I mean, that it takes a lot more action for that, you know what I mean? But at the same point, like that's what that game. So the gaming thing is a lot of the time to cut back on the CG and action. They'll use that a modified version of that for it. This probably had some portions of it, but obviously looking at some of this picture, there's a lot of animation going into it too. So it wasn't all 100% through that. With that being said, like, we kind of talked about it earlier when everybody's like, well, every X-Men's going to show up in Deadpool. I think some of this stuff you have to split it off, right? Like it might not be your cup of tea, but even in the chat, it's split, right? There's half the chat or 3/4 of the chat that's like, yeah, I get this and I kind of like it. Or, I know friends of mine liked it because that's how they learned to speak English and it was a great throwback. And then there's other people who are like, this was the slowest. This is like watching paint dry. It was terrible.
Blue Green says episode 1 was filmed in front of a studio audience.
Cool. That's cool too. To hear that.
There's so much devil in the detail in this because, and I use that purposely and I'll explain in a minute, but like the audio in it too. So like when the audio kicks into modern time, it's definitely stereo and high def audio. But when they're in the old, like, the 50s, 60s TV shows, it's different audio. It's definitely not stereo. Like there's those differences there. And I think you're going to find that Mephisto is the big bad guy because there's a part in episode 2 where she's talking to a neighbor and Wanda says the devil's in the detail and her neighbor laid forward and said that's not the only place he is.
Yeah.
So like there's like I think this show is meant to be made to watch with someone who is a hardcore comic nerd because they're going to be like, oh man, and they're going to be explaining it to you as you go and get you hyped to where if you're like, just like I said, the casual Marvel, you're going to be much like Solo again, be like, well, I could take it or leave it, and I think that's why a lot of the chat is split because it's like a scavenger hunt for comic book fans. Is pretty much what they made it. Because you're like, oh man, and you start trying to connect the dots. It's
and I think it's really, really good for the super deep divers and the Easter eggers and the the comic folk like us. I just think that if they're going to hit a market, they kind of miss their target because there's so many people that aren't going to see or catch so much of this. They're going to be really bored. And I think it's a dangerous play for, not that they're going to go out of business by any means, but I just think it was kind of a dangerous play as far as attracting people for the rest of the MCU that they have planned.
Yeah, no. So I think there's a couple points here, JJ Maxwell and everything else. Like, what market are you talking about? You're talking about every person on Earth market? Because like that's a real generalized market. I think Matt kind of got it right. I think this is a very finite market. JJ Maxwell and that guy obviously have added in some great points where they say stuff like, I think it's clear they really plan this to come out alongside the MCU movies, right? Like if the content pushed together with a big MCU push, that would have made a little more sense. And also, too, you know, that guy follows up with how long do they have to wait for the MCU movie to connect?
I just answered May 7th, 2021. That's the release date for
yeah.
Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
Right. So that's May 7th, but I don't think it was supposed to be that paced out, right? So if this was just an add-in for a completely geek, deep diving MCU, people who loved WandaVision, guys who were digging the old version, digging the new version, yeah, it probably works out where, yeah, it may not be set up for the overall entire population of the world. However, sometimes you got to do a little bit of fan service in it, right?
Well, and I think as we go on and we see more tie-in later on, and it'll depend on how many episodes they have. But once we see a lot more of that tie-in with, you know, a lot more explained, a lot of us comic book folk will be like, hey, look, the first two are kind of slow, but you got to hang in there because by the, you know, third, fourth, fifth one, it really pans out and you'll be locked in. And that's what I'm really hoping. Along with and you were talking about the sound. You're absolutely right, Matt, on that one with the way that they were doing the whole mono and everything. But man, they got to cut out that laugh track on that second episode. It got so freaking annoying. I almost had to turn it off. I was like, if I hear another fake live studio audience laugh track, I'm turning it off.
Yeah.
But when he does show up, because the gum fucks him up, dude. Shit, it's kind of funny. Wanda's over there saving the day.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Apparently, Vision's drunk entity is Big Red Gum.
It's so awesome. It binds him up, makes him drunk.
But
either way, it does look. Let's take a quick poll chat. But according to our poll, you either are going to watch it because you hate it and want to see what the end is, or you watch it because you actually think it's funny. But it seems like a lot of people are going to watch this to the end. So I guess
either way, everyone's watching it. So it's a win for Disney.
Yeah,
I give it a 3.
So it means it's great because that's his like greatest rating he'll ever give out.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I had fun looking for all the Easter eggs and kind of deep diving into it, and it made it worthy of a multiple rewatch and I'll probably rewatch the first 2 episodes again and see, and I might even watch it with my girlfriend to see what she thinks, because she's not, she's a casual MCUer. She's like, I like the movies, but she's not into the books like I am. So I'll see what she thinks and kind of go from there. But
yeah, watching it with my girlfriend really changed it. It made it really different. And I meant to do it that way. I asked her, I said, will you please watch it? Are you ready? Can we watch this together? Let's sit down. Because I knew we were going to talk about it. And I was like, I want some outsider input. I want to know what the casual MCU movie fan thinks of it. So I'll be interested to hear what your second take on it is there, Matt, with watching it with her.
Yeah, and I mean, like Grizzle Geek said in the chat, they can do it like this because they don't have to appease anybody. And I think the big thing to remember this is like COVID, if my memory serves me correctly, COVID screwed this up because we were originally supposed to get Falcon Winter Soldier, and then it was supposed to go on to WandaVision. And WandaVision was supposed to lead up into, like, I think the last episode of WandaVision was supposed to be the Friday before Doctor Strange came out. And then we were supposed to roll from Doctor Strange into Spider-Man. So they had this whole, like, planned timeline for this release. Mm-hmm. And when COVID hit, this show was farther along than Falcon Winter Soldier. And so it all kind of got jumbled up and messed up to where we're getting, this is our first taste of the post big screen MCU. And it just, like you guys were saying, I don't think the timelines add up like they originally wanted them to.
No, but I think it would have played out better. I mean, we still haven't seen Black Widow, for God's sake. So I totally agree with you, Matt. I think it jacked that all up with the big scary.
Yeah, but I think this is it too. Like JJ says, I mean, it's kind of like he's committed to the MCU at this point to get it all in. but he's not gonna, rewatch or look. We're not saying this is like Rebels where you can see like the seventh sister die again for the 15th time, but like it definitely is something that you see one time, you're ready to go and move on to something else. Not everything has to have that rewatch factor that you see it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I don't see myself rewatching them.
Rebels, is that one with James Dean?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the Star Wars thing because I.
Well, what about you? What do you think, Greg? Because I know you coming from Japan, you guys didn't have access to this or Mandalorian over there, right? I think you're muted, dude. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, next week I'll have Disney Plus, so I'll have access to all this stuff. But this looks really, really interesting. I like the whole cross genre thing, and the I Love Lucy references, and the animation looks amazing. And I like the fact that something's happening and we don't know what's happening to her, and that's involved in the Marvel universe too, right?
Yeah.
So no, this is cool. I can't wait to get back into the kind of the culture of it all.
Well, because I mean, this is the kind of our first, with like Chad said, or Solo said, the big scary. This is kind of our first taste of that post Endgame.
You're right.
Marvel universe, and and seeing where the landscape is going. And yeah, we're like a year, almost 2 years behind from Marvel because Black Widow should have come out last year, and it's been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and so who knows? But
that seemed like a weird choice to me, was the Black Widow timing.
Yeah.
She had just died. We know it's a prequel. Is it setting up? Like, what's it setting? Why do we need to see that world? Because obviously they're building up something again. But that one seemed really odd to me, that the timing of that release. She needed her own movie. I think she's a very, very good character, but just the timing of it's weird.
I think Blue Green just hit it right there. These episodes will change in meaning after the later episodes come out, Memento style. I think.
I hope so. I really do. I really do hope so.
That's what I was saying too, just a little bit ago. I think once we have some more content later on, it'll change it. I just think that launching it the way they did, probably because of partially, the big scary and the timelines got all jacked up. I think it hurt the initial release just because of it just wasn't the punch that I was expecting, and I think a lot of people were expecting. So I think we'll definitely look back on it and be like, oh, okay, now I get it. That was really, really cool, but hard to digest that first.
That's really cool. I'm sorry. That's really cool what he said. And he's right. Do you think some of these people just are watching it and they're going online and like, what are all the Easter? And that's part of the hype of this, so it will get that fan base.
I think
read it out first. I'm sorry. We should read what he said. He said, I know many casual MCU fans who research every Easter egg so they don't feel lost and left out. I mean, that's interesting.
What were you saying, Kyle?
I just said I figure when CBR comes out with the Easter eggs of WandaVision, that's where everybody's going to get filled in on everything, and that's where it's really going to take off for people. Because there's usually some article that comes out. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. But I think there's a subset, right? So like we're sitting here, and a lot of people in the chat are sitting here going like, okay, I'm waiting for this moment because we know the comics. I'm waiting for this moment so we know the comics. Do you think there's a subset that's watching it going like, it does not matter if I know the comics or not, because what I'm going to do as soon as this is done or while it's still playing is as it's playing, hit up CBR or whoever and see what the Easter eggs are. And that's my excitement for the day because it occupies my time and numbs whatever else is going on in the world.
Yeah. And JJ Maxwell just said they need to execute on all the Easter eggs and such too, though. Otherwise you end up with Lost all over with the theories and Easter eggs and all that goes nowhere and you lose viewers and fast. So
because they want to be right. Yeah, they
Right.
want the Easter eggs to be right. That's yes, very yeah.
I think that for me, like what did this show for me right off the bat, these first few episodes, is I didn't mind the sitcom aspect of it, but I had more fun being like, connecting dots and the Easter eggs and all of that. It was more fun for me than actually the show. So I think that's why I liked it so much.
Do we know how many episodes? And there's only one season of this, correct?
One season, 9 episodes.
Okay.
So
I hate these short seasons with a half-hour show. Man, if you're going to only punch out 9, you need to make them bad boys 45 minutes long.
Yeah, like the first episode, I believe, was 30 minutes. The second episode was 37 minutes.
And I ain't talking 45 with credits. I'm talking 45 minutes of content.
that sounds like somebody I heard say before.
Right? I know someone that's on board with that.
I like what Josh said there, though, too, and I do agree. I think all these little subsets are bringing in the mutants. You know what I mean? And it's good. For me, it's good. Look, the Avengers are fine. Whatever. I'm a mutant guy, so I'm all happy when you start getting mutant storylines being brought in. And if this brings in mutant storylines, I'm all on board. I'm good with it.
But my question is if this takes off, what does it do to the landscape of the theater? So is it going to be to where we only get, so now we're going to get these Disney Plus shows and we only get one big movie or 2 big movies this summer that tie into this? Is it going to change the amount of superhero movies Marvel's putting out in the theaters every year?
Yeah.
Like how's that going to change the landscape of what we're used to?
Is that a bad thing, though? So listen to it from company-wide perspective. You're getting viewership in the home, right? You're getting some subs or you're getting advertising dollars. And then even if your movie bombs, which it won't bomb because it's the setup it's the climax to the point, right? The apex. Man, my speech gets better the more I drink. Once you get to the apex, right? It's done. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad because you hit the apex, you brought in all the money, then you could start over again, go back down to the bottom of the mountain. You can start climbing again with the next series of shows and everything else. You don't have to hit 4 movies. You don't have to hit 4 home runs in the movie theater. You just need people to show up for the apex. Like that makes sense, right? No, Greg, you're always smart on these points. Does that make sense or no? Yeah, very good. Doesn't make any sense. Good, solid.
Like I said, my wife give 2 shits about my funny books, but she loved the show. She is a Wanda fan, and she, like me, grew up on the sitcoms like these. So,
it's all building up for whatever phase. The only thing that I have to chip in on this is somebody had mentioned, do you think the casual Marvel fan is going to come and watch this because they want to chip it together, about what's happening in the future and talk about the Easter eggs? Yes. I also think that WandaVision is a really interesting thing to put out there at this time because it's going to draw in a lot of females too to watch it because it's really a show about the relationship between those two, right? It's their romance. That's the central core of that. So I think it's a really cool thing. It just draws everybody to see what's happening.
Well, I think everyone's watching it because first off, a lot of people are Marvel fans now and superhero stuff and stuff coming out on Disney Plus and everything. These shows are now water cooler talk.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's watching them because it's the stuff that it's what's people talking about. Did you see, even if you are, that was what's cool about the Mandalorian is if you knew it and you knew these little extra things, it made the show great. But if you didn't know all these little things, it was still a great show.
Well, and you got to have, you're on the clock. You want to hang out that chat time at the water cooler as long as possible while you're at the clock. So while you're on the clock,
have your Marvel Easter eggs memorized by then.
Just a COVID farm.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you do it at this time where there's nothing else on too, what's in the rotation right now? I mean, the chess was is passed about by 3 weeks. We don't have anybody talking about playing checkers or chess anymore. You don't have anybody talking about Mando anymore. I think the Mando experiment was great. Like, there's still people to this day that are like the hugest Star Wars fan and might not quite still understand why Mandalorians can take their helmets off or timelines and stuff like that. Like, it's good. So if we can get new volumes of people in watching this, it's the only thing to watch, man. I have a $235 cable bill. That's not including all the add-ons. We get everything. And every day when we sit down, we get an hour, we're like, there is nothing to watch. I doubt I'm the only person that's like that. I bet you there's a lot of people out there trying to watch something. And if WandaVision's it, you're going to stick around because what else are you going to watch? There's nothing else to watch, man. I mean, how many times can you watch some kid bake a cake or people open up Pokemon cards on the interwebs, dude? You can't. Hey, it ain't there, bro.
Hey,
so thank God for hockey.
Millions of people want to watch opening up Pokemon cards. All right.
I watched this one guy open some cards, and the top of them were all stuck together. They were never cut.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's fine.
That lucky bastard. That deck's probably worth like $3,000 because they're so rare.
You just let the kids play with it. Pokemon are for kids, right? I mean, whatever. No, I'm just saying, like, there's nothing, like, we could say whatever we want, but everybody's going to watch this. And if it works out well, even if it doesn't work out that great, people are going to watch it. I mean, I watched Tiger King. That wasn't exactly the dopest thing. I would never have watched that TV show if there was anything else to watch.
I would. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was
riveting television. All right,
that was like Flavor Flav of love, dude.
That was riveting television.
I'm not saying it was a train wreck, but like,
it was a car accident. You were watching it like this.
Yeah, I mean, it was a car accident.
It wasn't because it was
I still have not watched any of those, and I still will not. I have no desire to watch that. Just, oh my God, how do we even have people like that in America?
They're your kind of people.
I hope they all get eaten by tigers.
Conspiracy theory. Everyone's the government not to give me.
Hats, bro. They're right up the Solo Wookiee channel.
Right. They're subscribers to your channel. They subscribe to your newsletter, Solo, that nobody else knows about.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, John too, Marco, or you
if they can't wear tinfoil hats, they're not my client.
They do. This is what I watch a lot. Tales from the Flip Side. This channel has got tons of content. Make sure you're watching it. We have a show on every day. We got 2 shows on some day. Shoot, even Maximus came over. The great Maximus came over here to give us a show on Wednesday for all you Wednesday warriors. If you haven't seen it, Eric's in the chat. He does a lot of the graphics over there. Maximus will get on. I hear he's going to be beardless soon. He better be beardless soon because we don't welch on bets. And I was
4
there.
days, right?
So yeah. You got a couple days, brother. But yeah, dude. I mean, a lot of good stuff.
You get a brand new razor.
Ran their promo in the beginning. My boy Dino's out there looking funny in a too tight red coat. That's my boy, dude. I mean, he is my boy. So what am I gonna do?
Look, I'm coming at you from my mom's basement, so that's why I come to Tales from the Flip Side.
Matt's out in the mom's basement. This is probably one of the rowdiest shows there is.
I'm trying to get enough money to get that stainless steel fridge because all I got is a black one.
I got a white one.
Okay, time out. Can we talk about fridges? I got 3 black fridges because I got a bunch of kids. Do you think my au pair wants to be wiping fridges all? I'm not coming home to that. No, absolutely not.
Get the fingerprint resistant then.
Yep. I'm not trying to waste money on that bullshit. Anyways, a lot of good shows. Watch Pete's stuff. If you guys aren't watching, if you need some content to watch and you're upset with WandaVision, go out and watch what Pete Vision is doing because Pete Vision's got some great toy stuff out there. He did Crystal. I didn't even know that like Crystal Warrior thing was a thing for a toy, but hey, it is. Watch his stuff. It's very short content. It's great. You can sit at the water cooler, be social distance, and yell at each other about how many toys there used to be in the 80s and how they all stink right about now. I don't know. I'm an old dude. That's what I do. I complain about stuff. Get off my lawn or get off my lake. I don't care.
Get off my lawn.
Damn, kids all hopped up on goofballs.
All kinds of great content to watch on this channel. If you're looking for some new comic books to read, Greg can hook you up there. Go check out Rascals. Definitely going to have him back when issue 2 comes out, and gonna have to do a little behind the scenes work to talk about something special for Kyle and I's issue. we got some ideas cooking. I think Kyle's got some ideas cooking.
Dude, I was knocking him out of the park earlier.
A squirrel with a whiskey bottle.
On a unicorn.
On a unicorn. Who was that?
Solving mysteries.
Solving mysteries.
Righting wrongs.
Hey, this guy, we're going to do some stuff with him too. We're going to get him in our show. He just did us a great graphic too. Thanks a lot, Eric. OG, I think Matt really has been huge on this before. He was one of the first people I really saw pushing this hard. And I think you're right. I think this is a character that's coming in. If you guys haven't been buying that, I don't know. I don't buy it market is all I'm saying.
I like it cheap.
Oh, I'm cheap. I'm so old. I'm like 60, bro. I wear Skechers and like even
and off the rack pants.
Books was 50 cents.
Oh, my wife buys all my clothes, dude. I'm not. Yeah, no. And she's embarrassed too about what I wear, but that's okay.
It's okay.
So anybody got anything else? Anything else?
Just everybody hit that like and subscribe button.
Yes.
Make sure you're listening to all the great, like we said, there's a bunch of great stuff on here. I know Ultra Show was pretty kick-ass the other day. I was watching that. That's a real cool Wednesday show to pick up on and see the new stuff. So that's kind of awesome. And come get drunk with us. That's awesome.
Dude, yeah, appreciate it. It's appreciated, everybody. Hey, come check out. I'm going to plug myself again. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the start. Please, if you haven't listened to the book, if you don't want.
So, we're going to go ahead and.
Yeah,
you don't just come in here and plug your stuff on this show, brother.
I do. That's what I come to the show for, is to plug it. Tomorrow night, make sure you're there. We know who's going to be there. All right, go ahead.
Anybody got anything else? Greg, you want to plug your stuff one more time where people can find you?
Yeah, Rascals Book 2, Song of the Banshee is pre-launching this weekend on Indiegogo and will be up for sale February 1st. So hopefully I can come back and hype it then.
Now, you might have already said it before, but can people still get the director's edition if they want it, or no? Or is that
so? We have a few left over. We have about a half of them for that run left over, and we're thinking maybe we'll put some up later. But more than that, maybe we'll just hold on to them till conventions open up, and then just have that for people to buy at conventions. It'll be a nice thing for them to get a sketch from Kurt, and it'll be numbered and limited edition. So, but for this campaign, I think again we'll go burger and fries, real simple. You can buy the book 2, the new completely colored book, full separate tale for the Rascals, and book 1.
All right. Well, guys, we want to thank everyone in the chat for hanging out tonight. A great show as always. You guys are on fire. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already, if you had a good time tonight. Again, make sure to check out all the great content dropping on this channel daily. If you want more from Marco and Solo Wookie, check them out tomorrow night on their Star Wars show. If you want more, check out Ultra Show on Wednesdays. And you can catch me and Kyle back here next Saturday with the crew. Again, make sure you're checking out Comic Women. That's a great show. Check out the flagship Tales from the Flipside every Monday night to get you kicked off your week. Fantastic. So we'll see you guys next.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, guys.
See you guys next weekend.